$1,000 to the Silver Springs International Film Festival and unveiling a horse called Bud, not named after me, Teddy.
I know. They're all excited about that happening tonight.
Yes, they are. And so I don't know if you'll be there or not. I know you and Jerry probably have other social plans because you're such social butterflies, so I don't know if you'll be there.
I'm going to try to make it back there.
Are you? Well, good.
Yeah,
good.
I
I'll be
wanna
looking
see the
for
horse.
you. Be looking for you.
Okay.
Yeah, the horse, yeah. I don't know if it's a live horse, if it's I think it's a live horse, isn't it?
It is. It's going to be. That's the word I heard today.
Yeah. Well, tell me more about it. I know the owners of Triangle are heavily involved in horse, and hits and things of that nature.
And, last year, a couple years ago, they had 2 or 3 of those horses, the Budweiser horses, downtown in the square, the Clydesdale.
They're awesome,
and
those Clydesdale horses. They're
just
great.
Amazing to see. So I think they'll have a really good turnout tonight.
I'd like to have a Clydesdale in my backyard.
Well, you should.
Think I could arrange that?
Well, I think we could have a truckload of Budweiser.
Well, that's a better idea.
Right.
Yeah. So there was a conversation going on with Tom in the first hour, and it was about history. And I guess history depends upon how old you are. But you and I have talked on this show on Throwback Thursdays, which, by the way, there's any topics available for anybody who wants to call. If they do, 622-9622. But when you think about iconic buildings in Ocala, there are really only about a half a dozen that come to my mind and probably your mind because they represented our youth. Granted, it was more than a couple of years ago, but I know I can say these names and you'll say immediately yes, and that would be the Big D.
Exactly.
The Brahma, Shirley Bells.
Right.
And on. And one day in Starbucks, a friend of ours who was a year older than us said, look at these places. And he wrote down all these names of these iconic places that we went. Now Shirley Bells didn't have much of a building, but the Brahma was we talked about that before, was really a place that people would come for a long way away to go to the Brahma for their food, Canada Reese's place. And of course, it was an unusual building right there on 441. It was sort of Art Deco-ish, and different looking. And
right. It just had that look about it that you recognized it.
So when you go back and you think about your childhood, are there any particular memories of any particular buildings that come to mind for you that you think about that are either here or gone? I mean, we all know the courthouse is gone. Obviously, that's something that was, I think we all regret that had to go away. But what about you in terms of old buildings? Anything else that comes to mind?
Well, Buddy, when I was growing up, we had the First Methodist Church downtown on the corner there, across from the Cox Furniture Store, who's no longer there.
I used to go to church there.
The Catholic Church, Blessed Trinity, used to be downtown on Silver Springs Boulevard. But, I went out the other day to Silver Springs, and, my heart sunk down to my toes because I don't know if you've been out there since the changeover or whatever.
I have. Disappointing.
And I thought, oh, my gosh, how many memories we had getting on. When friends came in, you could say, let's go out to the springs and I'll take you on the glass bottom boats. And, I didn't realize how dramatic it was going to be to see that. None of them in action, none of them on the water. So I had to sit down and almost come to tears to realize that part of what made the springs so great is gone. And then Cammie and I were talking in the store what we were going to do for the film festival and everything. And I was telling her stories about the springs and all the things we used to do out there, the big Easter egg hunt for Easter. And my gosh, you and Jerry and I wanted to get the golden egg because you won money if you got the golden egg. So many transitions have taken place in things that we used to do. But boy, those glass bottom boats, not seeing them out on the water was real awakening for me.
And the Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise, right.
The glass bottom boats are supposed to be running. They were at last time I looked.
They are going to get them more geared up.
Yeah. I know Bobby
they're
Genovese.
refurbishing them. Is what they're doing.
Bobby Genovese, who's now the new proprietor because it's a state park. He just has the ability to run it. He has said in print, I read the story, saying he planned to do some things there.
Right.
I don't know if it's difficult working with the state as a partner. I'm sure there is a lot of red tape there. I don't know Mr. Genovese, but I wish him all the best. And it is very nostalgic for us because it was not just a tourist place. it was part of our life. It was like our hangout. So as
Right.
kids, we took, and I know people say, yeah, here we go again, the Silver Spring stories, but it is a dramatic difference, isn't it? Compared to what you think about,
Exactly.
a piece of your heart goes with it. So, but that's changed for you.
Changes
Yeah.
happening, and the downtown area is changing for the better. But I told Angie Lewis the other day that, my goodness, with all these people coming in for the film festival and bringing their families and their children and everything, we definitely are going to have down the road to have a hotel locally where they can stay.
I was sorry to hear that the one that was planned did not go through. Disappointing. I don't know what happened exactly. I've talked to some of the principals. I know there were some difficulties, some things that weren't covered. Obviously, in the end, it wasn't communicated by both sides as well as it
Exactly.
should have been. But we just have to have that hotel.
We'll get the parking garage. We'll
That'll be-
take one
I think
step.
that's gonna- I
In
think
our
that's gonna
lifetime,
happen,
your
yeah.
and mine,
Yeah.
we'll see the parking garage.
Yeah.
The hotel probably will
May take a while.
take a while, but I think it's short-lived. I think the action downtown is amazing.
Well, things are popping now, and around especially other cities. If you go to Orlando or Tampa or St. Pete or Jacksonville, there's all kinds of new construction, like in Ponte Vedra, places like that. I mean, tons of it. You're starting to see some here. It's just slow. And what's funny is I've been reading about the fact that we're having a hard time finding workers now. We've gone from all of a sudden not having any jobs. Now there's a short of the labor force.
Really?
Yeah. So that's part of the gearing up too, as you start. And of course, a lot of what we do is construction. I wish it wasn't all construction, but like it was before, but I think it's going to have to be part of that. Of course, agriculture, not as much as we used to have, but still big. And I'm told manufacturing by our friend Daniel Owen. He says that manufacturing is bigger than anything in our county, bigger than the horse industry. He claims.
Really?
Although I'd have to check with Daniel to see the last time they brought in as much money as HITS did, which is
Right.
Did you
Right.
feel to get any business from HITS at all?
Oh, I think the horse industry.
How about you?
Like absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Those people come from all over. Just like someone said the other day, we don't realize when you read the paper and see how many the horses, what they sold for yesterday
a lot.
and today.
Yeah, I saw that.
You're like, the people are here and they come here.
And the money's here.
And right. So the money's here. We just, a lot of people love Ocala, the friendly town. The environment's good. I think that's a real plus for us. So I think everything's going in the right direction.
Kevin Sheely said at the CEP meeting with the thoroughbred people that $2.92 billion is generated annually by the horse industry in this county.
Absolutely.
$2.92 billion by the horse industry through sales, through hits, through everything related to the horse industry. That's 800,000 less, or 8 million less than $3 billion.
You're right.
That's a big number.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's a huge deal for us here. Man, if we can get some of the other stuff going, tourism could be better. And there's no question about that. There's lots of opportunities here. I was talking to a guy today who's going to come on our show in a couple of weeks. I kind of favor the idea, I know nobody likes this but me, of going to more of a metro government. So you've got actually the county and the city have one board, and representatives from each area get together, because there's too much horse trading, or not horse trading. The county and the city, there's a great divide between them.
Exactly.
And we need to overcome that somehow. And this person says, look, it's very simple. It's the most efficient way to do it. And you can get, 8 commissioners. He said back in the day of whatever year it was, 100 years ago, there were 5 county commissioners. There were about 20,000 people in the county. Today, there are almost 400,000, 5 commissioners.
The same
So
number.
you have to stop and think about the city government, and the county government working together. And what better way to do that than there's another name for it, metropolitan. They call it the Dade Metro, so they call it down there.
You
So-
mean consolidate, like Jacksonville, Duval County?
Yeah, there's a
and
name for it, but,
Jacksonville, they consolidated.
No, a lot of metro area. We're not quite that big yet, but we're getting to a point where we got too many decisions being made separately, and the county's big, and Ocala has only got like 13% of the voters,
Right.
So, and there's a lot of people in the county who feel like they are being represented, and vice versa, by the way. So we get more done, I think, if we had that. We'll have those guests on here in 3 or 4 weeks. But Teddy Goss and Goss Dealers and one of my high school friends, she's a lot younger than I am, by the way, is in the house today, and she's agreed maybe to make a couple of picks on her. She filled her brackets out, but she didn't bring them because she didn't want to give us any of her knowledge. She wants to keep that for herself.
Well, she said she told me that I should go with UAB and Georgia State, and I said, well, that's great after they already won. She said, no, I have them on my bracket.
There you go. Well, there you go.
So she knew.
So there
Don't make up those stories.
We start calling her on the day before from now on. So
Guru.
Yeah. So we come back. Let's talk about a little bit of basketball. You were a cheerleader for the basketball team, as I remember, and let's talk a little about the film festival, which is kind of exciting. Things happening.
Diamonds. Talk about diamonds.
Talk about diamonds are a girl's best friend, right?
And don't think I'm letting you two off the hook. I got a year. So don't think I'm letting you off the hook because I got a year.
All right, well, to find out what Tom's year is and see how many questions we can answer. Teddy says she's had a long day. She doesn't want to be quizzed. So we'll do a team thing and see if we can figure it out. Coming up next right here on The Voice of Ocala. Stay tuned to
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
When you were a kid, you had all sorts of toys. Toy cars, boats, trucks, entire toy boxes full of fun. Of course, you never really outgrow your toys, do you? It's just that now, instead of a box full, you have a garage full. Cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, ATVs, and more. As you get older, your love of toys just gets stronger. So protect those toys the best way possible by switching to Allstate. An Allstate agent can help do the switching, paperwork, bundle all your policies together, and even find you a bunch of discounts. So if you love your toys, make sure you protect your toys by making one call to an Allstate agent.
Protect all your toys with Allstate and the McDonald Agency. Established in 1985, we have offices in Ocala and the Villages to better serve you. Give us a call at 622-2333. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Are you in good hands?
Whenever you're searching for an attorney, you want somebody with knowledge who has a commitment to our community and our state. Such is the case with Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer. In everything from car and other motor vehicle accidents, work accidents, personal injury, and wrongful death cases. Daniel L. Hightower also handles Social Security disability and bankruptcy. Call him today at 352-629-7777 or check out danhightower.com. Daniel L. Hightower, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. Does osteoarthritis bring frustration with every step? Do pain and stiffness affect your everyday activities? If so, you may be interested in a research study for the treatment of pain associated with osteoarthritis. Renstar Medical Research is conducting a research study of an investigational medication for individuals between the ages of 40 and 75 and who have been treated for the pain associated with osteoarthritis for at least 3 months. Qualified participants will receive study-related medical care and investigational medication. Compensation for time and travel will be provided. To learn more about this osteoarthritis study, please call Renstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. Again, that's 352-629-5800.
Howdy, folks. RL here for Dairy Queen, wishing you everyone a happy New Year. And to start it off right, you need a hot, juicy, char-grilled bacon cheeseburger, fried drink, and a sundae for just $5. Or try our famous chicken strips or wraps. Nobody offers all this quality and value but Dairy Queen. And this offer's good till 4 p.m. every day at Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Johnny, what are you doing in the bathroom? What are you saying? Wait, where are your toy cars? Oh no, tell me you didn't. Honey, call Mike Scott Plumbing.
I didn't do anything.
For once that's true, but little Johnny flushed his toys down the toilet and now it's broke.
No. I'll get the phone. What's the toll-free number?
866-314-4443.
Got it. 866-314-4443.
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, they do it. At Mike Scott Plumbing, from the moment you walk through the doors, it's evident that quality is key. From our fully stocked parts department to our fully trained service technicians who can help with anything from a clogged drain to your irrigation system and even servicing your entire septic system. Visit one of our beautiful showrooms in Hernando or in Wildwood and let us show you how to turn your kitchen and bath dreams into reality. Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Don't get caught without your daily source of senior deals. Pick up your copy of the Senior Voice newspaper. It's your source for schedule and events tailored to seniors, with information you need, like a list of free events in the area. We even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company to you that fits your needs. And all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about them. For more information, call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223. And pick up your copy of the Senior's Voice at most any business up and down the 200 corridor.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Well, time's gone fast. Back with Teddy for at least another 10 minutes here, or well, not even that, 7 minutes. Want to get to a couple of things. First of all, brackets. You got an empty bracket over there, and you didn't fill anything out. Did you have one or two hot tips for us that you like? You pick, obviously, you got your winner, like all the rest of us. It would be you to win it all.
Well, you know what?
You picked Kentucky, didn't you?
I picked Kentucky because I watched them play the last
good.
few
They're
games,
great.
and they're just awesome. You know, like I told Jerry, I mean, it's amazing. We watched games last night, Vanderbilt, and a couple of them.
IT stuff. Mm-hmm.
You know, I said it's like you can't compare apples to apples because these guys from Kentucky. But I like Wisconsin. I'm
Good
always
team.
cheering for Duke.
Yep.
You know.
You picked three pretty good Final Four teams right there.
I'm cutting her microphone off.
He is a Duke hater.
Oh,
Sorry. Don't,
come on.
hey,
you know?
Teddy, the first thing you do is don't pay attention to anything he says. That's number one.
Carolina.
Okay.
So
well,
first,
you
just
know,
ignore him when you're talking and keep talking.
Jerry and I are upset that Wake Forest didn't do too well the last few years.
Wake Forest's been struggling.
Arnold Palmer, you know, is doing the golf thing this weekend. We can't brag about Wake Forest because he went there and
I know he
graduated.
did.
You
Yeah,
know,
the Arnold
so-
Palmer Scholarship's still there.
Right, yeah. In fact, we were at the game last year, football game, and Arnold got on the motorcycle and rode around the football stadium. It was really, really neat. But, yeah, I think we're going to have some really great March Madness. It's our favorite time of year to watch basketball.
Yeah. You know, you could – here's a fair swap. If you get a chance to go to the Final Four, go, because it's a great thing. And then if the guys can make a trip, go, and then just go buy a diamond for your wife, and you'll be okay, right?
Exactly. Well, just send the wife down
The wife
with
down?
a check to
Yeah,
buy the diamond.
I'm sure
while
you could
guys
assist them
go.
in buying the diamond, right?
Right. We've sold quite a few the last few weeks, and
Yeah?
I think
Why is it June brides coming up time?
I just think the love bug's bitten people for
Really?
spring. Yeah.
Really?
Since Valentine's Day, we've been selling some diamonds.
That's a great idea, buddy. We want to go out of town to the National Basketball Tournament or something. Just give your wife a check for $4,000 or $5,000. Tell her to go get a diamond at Gosford, son.
More about
and you
10,
go.
about 10,000, maybe a little bit, right?
No, I've got you.
No,
guys.
no. If you're going to write a check,
Really-
you'll
really
take
good
but you'll
prices
take a
right now.
$10,000 check, won't you?
I'll take anything I can get today. I've got some great diamonds that start at like $2,000, $29.95.
Really?
Yeah.
What shapes?
They're round,
Yeah. Okay.
marquise.
Okay.
You know, they
Is
all
there-
kinds of shapes.
Is there a better cut than the emerald cut for a diamond, though? That's just I love that cut of a diamond, the emerald
Well,
cut.
luckily for us, we have a gemologist on staff, and a lot of younger girls like the marquee cut or the princess cut. The radiant cut is a square cut that looks a little bit like the emerald cut diamond, but it's got facets in it that makes you think of water. It's just shimmering all the time. So, but a lot of the older guys like just the round standard cut, but the newer brides are loving the princess cut.
Well, you know, one thing I think is beautiful, if you want a special gift, and maybe you pass the age where you give engagement rings, but diamond earrings, women love diamond earrings.
Oh my gosh, absolutely! They're the
But you got
hottest
some
thing.
good prices on those too, don't you?
Got some April diamond prices coming
Yeah?
up. Yeah, I bet Joni would like a couple pairs.
Shh. She listens to this program. Don't say that.
I know, that's why I'm putting the hint out
Miss
there.
Joni would not like a couple pair. Couple are not enough.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
for
the
sure.
sparkle, you can wear them every day with blue jeans and
7 days a week, 7 separate sets of diamond earrings.
No, one set, 2 carats would be plenty.
Speaking of diamonds, what kind of diamond picks do you have for us? And now, are you going to go with Kentucky? You're going to go with Duke? You're going to go with Wisconsin? Who's your fourth team? Do you know?
Well, I think someone cheated and told me Georgia State or something like
No,
that.
they won.
They
already.
won, but they're not going to make the
Make
Final Four.
But you had three really good teams now because you got number one seeds up. Obviously, some of them are, but those are pretty good teams.
I put you on the spot. Who do you think?
Oh, I got this. You don't ever want to ask me.
Really?
No.
Why is that?
Because I'd be the worst person in the world to ask. My wife beats me every year.
Well, I'll make a $50 bet with you on Kentucky.
Oh no!
Oh,
No, I can't do that because I want Kentucky to win. I got to pick. I pick
okay.
Kentucky and Duke.
Okay.
I've got Kentucky and Duke in my Final Four. Just not
How
to
about
the
Villanova? You think they're any good?
I got them being beat by Michigan State. Here's what I got. Just to go to
Michigan State's
Final
really good.
eight. I won't take you up all your time because we've got a couple minutes. But my final eight are Kentucky versus Notre Dame. Kentucky wins. Wisconsin versus Arizona. Arizona the upset. That's what I got them. And then I've got Villanova and Louisville with Villanova winning but losing to Michigan State. And then I've got Duke beating Gonzaga. Iowa State already got beat. So a lot of people got them down the bottom bracket. So.
I had Iowa State in the Final Four. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know you did. Yeah, I know. So this sound right here, just in case you want to know, is Tom tearing up his brackets already.
Right now, I still got three Final Four teams alive: Virginia, Wisconsin, and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I think Notre Dame's going to win the whole
Notre Dame
thing.
is awesome. I watched him play the other
They
day.
won by 2 points today. They
that
barely.
game was I was jumping up and down.
Yeah, but
watching.
they barely beat a high school team today by 2 points.
Really? Well, see, you just never know with basketball. It's so quick, and it can change so quickly.
That's the reason they call it March Madness, right?
Right.
When I got a couple of minutes, I want to get in a little conversation about the film festival.
Yeah, we're excited about it. It's for 5 days this year. So we've got some grab bags for people that are coming downtown on the square with some gifts in them, and that'll be exciting. And
Really? You mean the people just get to come in and get them?
well, the
Buy
people
something
that are buying
customer-
tickets for the dinner.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. No, I know.
We haven't
right.
squared that away.
Yeah, I know.
totally.
Angie usually works on that too.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're getting that finalized, but we're excited. I think the weather will be great.
Yeah, it's a great time of
the
year.
Great time of year. Easter's that weekend, I believe, and
It
people
is.
are going to be busy.
It is,
So
yeah.
I think we've got a lot to look forward
Masters
to.
weekend, Easter's weekend.
Right. Second year in a row, I think the girls and everybody's working really hard on
Yeah,
that.
they are. They're working real hard. The board, we meet every week. I'm going to have 2 meetings this week. We went to one Monday, and I got one tomorrow morning.
Yeah, the panic button's pushing in.
Oh, I'm telling you.
It's not Easter weekend. Easter's on the 5th.
The 5th, well, it's the week
It's the week.
next,
It's the
right?
week
Okay,
after
you're right.
Easter.
It is. It equals
From
the
the
4th or
8th.
5th, is it?
Yeah.
Easter's the 5th, and
So the
the
week-
12th is the end of the Silver Spring Film Festival. It's
Yeah,
the week
you're right.
after Easter.
You're right. It's a week after.
It's
yeah.
that week, yeah.
So it's the 6th to the 10th, or what is it?
It's the 8th through the 12th.
That was the 12th. Yeah, 8th to the
I got
12th.
it right here.
Yeah.
On this recall.
So this should be great. And you know what the film fest is this year? Last year they had Cross Creek. This year they're going to have.
No, last year
they had the Creature of Black
Lagoon.
Lagoon. This year they got Cross Creek.
Yeah,
as
we
the
had
film.
John's Tarzan's grandfather's Tarzan outfit displayed in the store.
Yeah?
We were trying to figure out something to come with Cross Creek, a little alligator or something that you could
Cross
put,
Creek.
Don't
Don't you put a
kind of theme?
Put a collection. I got a copy of her books. We can put that in there. Put maybe some styles of dresses that she wore. Put a little collection of stuff in there. I love Cross Creek. It's one of my favorite places in the whole world.
Really?
I've been up there many times. I take my friends there every time I get a chance. I'm out of town. I love Marjorie Kennedy Rollins. I grew up my mother reading her books to me as a child, and I've written many stories about Marjorie
I
Kennedy
know you
Rollins.
have.
And so she's special to me, and I love the fact we're having that. So Tom says we got 10 seconds. Any final thoughts?
Well, I'm just looking forward to the spring, and we've got a lot going on all the time downtown.
Tell them where you're located, just in
We're
case
on
they don't
the
know.
14 Southeast Broadway downtown. We've got jewelers, watchmakers, gemologists, specialists in all styles.
You think you might stay there for a while? It's only been 65 years.
65 years. I think we'll be there another like 60 something.
You know what? Y'all got out of the year questions. I tell you.
You
what.
did. We got out of the year questions this time. We'll get them next time. And by the way, tell Jerry hello. Teddy Galls. See you next week. We'll be over at Mark's next
Oh,
week.
great.
All right?
I'll be looking forward to it.
Great. Thank you, Teddy. Take a break, come back. I think Angie Lewis is lurking out there somewhere on the telephone. Coming up next right here on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life, from everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz.
Hi, I'm State Farm agent Angie Lewis. Come see me and my team for all your insurance and financial needs in the beautiful downtown historic district, 416 East Fort King Street, or call 291-2444.
Time now to spiff up your bling for spring. Make your rings look brand new. Our master jeweler at Goss & Son will rhodium finish your rings for just $69.95, regular price $75. It's like waxing your car. It brings that shine back and looks all brand new all over again. So come see us. Our downtown location, Goss & Son Jewelers, serving you downtown for 65 years. Stay with us to sleep better at the Sleep Inn and Suites of Ocala Bellevue, located next door to Don Garlett's Museum and a few minutes from Florida Horse Park. Our award-winning, newly refreshed Sleep Inn and Suites offers comfy, clean rooms, free fast Wi-Fi, and service with a smile. Start your day with a deluxe hot breakfast and unwind in our heated outdoor pool. Our convenient 24-hour fitness and business centers allow you to stay on track whether you're here to play or to work. That's Sleep Inn and Suites, Ocala Bellevue.
Proud sponsor of College of Central Florida basketball.
Fox News Radio, I'm Paul Stevens. The Islamic State group claiming responsibility for yesterday's museum attack in Tunisia, leaving 23 dead. Fox News learning about vague warnings on Arabic Twitter accounts.
The indications of the language are important. It's very formal. That's typically what we see with ISIS, and it's consistent with previous claims of responsibility.
Fox's Catherine Herridge in Washington. Another possible veto from the White House.
The House approved a measure that would block new National Labor Relations Board rules, shortening the time a union's request for representation gets a vote from workers. Republicans say it's an ambush tactic, limiting opposition efforts. The Senate also voted to block the rule this month, but neither chamber did so with the 2/3 majority needed to override an expected presidential veto.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern at the Capitol. President Obama ordering the federal government to cut greenhouse gas emissions by 40%. Fox News. We report, you decide.
I'm Lex Friedman. I run my own business, so I know from experience, hiring new employees can be tough. Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites. And now you can. With ZipRecruiter.com, you can post your job to 50+ job sites, including social networks like Facebook and Twitter, all with a single click. Find candidates in any industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. And with ZipRecruiter's premium traffic boost, you can get up to 3 times more candidates. Quickly screen applicants, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 200,000 businesses. Right now, our listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free. Plus, get 30% off your first traffic boost by going to ZipRecruiter.com/info. That's ZipRecruiter.com/info. One more time. To try it for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/info.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer for different dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Chip, you never cease to amaze me. What in the world are you building with all those sticks and cardboard?
Well, Mr. Marketing Guy, I'm making signs to announce the great lease offers at Ford Lincoln of Ocala and Village Ford of Bellevue.
Really? What do you plan on calling it?
Sign and Ride. Get it?
That's not how it works. Sign and Ride is all about fantastic lease offers on Fusions, Escapes, Fiestas, Explorers, and remaining 2014 Focuses.
Wait a minute. If I understand correctly, Sign and Ride would mean 0 down payment?
Right.
0 first month's payment?
Right again.
And zero do its signing?
Now you're on the right track. Don't waste time. Head to Ford Lincoln of Ocala and Village Ford of Bellevue today and see how easy it can be to drive off in America's favorite brand.
And if you're planning to buy a new Ford, 0% financing for 72 months on select new 2015 Fords.
Whether you buy or lease, now's the best time to head to Ford Lincoln of Ocala or Village Ford of Bellevue, your family of Ford dealerships where we've got what it takes.
Not all buyers or models qualify for sign and ride offer or 0% financing. See dealer for complete details.
WWWOCA,
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com. The most trusted name in news, Fox News, every half hour, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Supposed to be talking to Angie Lewis here if we get her on the phone, but we're having this discussion about the Starbucks story. Tom and I don't agree on it. If you haven't heard about this,
but it's not that we politically disagree.
Well, it's just you don't like the story. But anyway, if you give Angie a quick call, the deal is this: Starbucks has announced this program now, and it's got a lot of blowback. A lot of people feel like Tom does. And what the owner, the CEO, I should say, of Starbucks says, they started this program where the baristas at the Starbucks write on the cups, race together. Now, that means not race as in run. It means race as in color of your skin. And the idea is to get people talking about race again because of the politically charged environment we have. The thought being, if you don't talk about it, how are you ever going to get past it? So my discussion was with Tom, it's a really good story because it's big business doing something with a conscience to try to make a better place. Now, whether you agree with it or not is another matter. Whether you like it or not is another matter. It's still a good story that when big business steps into the arena, I don't care what the political motivation is for it, all right, to try and make the world a better place. I don't care if it's a tree hugger or what it might be. It becomes a news story, and our conversation was, that's why it's important, and Tom said, no, it wasn't. You know who would know about this is this person here who's always trying to make the city a better place. That would be Angie Lewis, Angie Lewis State Farm Agency. Angie, how are you?
I am fabulous. I don't know what you're talking about, but I heard the end of it, and it sounds fabulous. It sounds incredible.
I'll take just 45 seconds to explain it to you. Today, I guess yesterday, Starbucks announced they wanted to start a program where they write on the cups that baristas do, race together. Not races in run, but races in a race, color of your skin, whatever. And the idea is to get people talking about race at a very at a politically charged time where our country is being ripped apart in cities by racial issues. The theory being that because we don't talk about it, it's not going to make it better. You have to have a conversation. And and I know, it's a difficult subject, particularly with people who are of different races. But I agree with the concept that if you're ever going to make any progress, you've got to start talking about it. This is Starbucks' attempt to get people to do that. I don't know how it will work out, and I don't know whether people agree with it. Tom hates the idea. I give him kudos for trying to do something.
You know what? We just got behind, not we, but State Farm Corporate. It's a similar campaign called Love Has No Labels. And it's about diversity and accepting, and we don't always have to agree based on whatever our upbringing or, our morals or we don't have to agree with decisions that people make, but hate never helps,
Mm-hmm.
And it's, and it's okay to have a discussion and stuff, but what bothers me sometimes is, when we end up, we've seen it's been horrible, when it turns to violence and it turns to all this hatred and stuff, and it's like, that's what we got to get past. No, we're all going to have differences of opinions and different, religions and everything, but, we still, I kind of like it. I like people taking a stand for anything that's going to bring positivity.
Yeah. Here's the thing about it. That when do we start talking about things? And it's already difficult in our country to have a discussion even about politics. Because in 2 seconds, people are so polarized. If you don't see my point of view, then you're a demon. That's what it's become. Right. And you can't have a conversation about what's good, what's bad, what might work. I don't care what party you belong to. And for some reason, we just don't want to have conversations because we want to have our own little beliefs tucked away and be safe with them, whether it's religion, politics, whatever. So I say anything that would help people have an open discussion and the dialogue is a good thing. And I just like State Farm's program. Tom says, well, they just did it because they wanted to make money. I said, no, that's not the case. They don't have to do anything. But if you have a company, it could be Starbucks, it could be Caterpillar, it could be anybody. If you're trying to have a social conscience and help this be a better world, better place, then kudos to Starbucks for at least trying to do something.
It's at least, like you said, it's okay. You're talking about it, so it's going to create people talking about it. And I see it no different than when Chick-fil-A made their stance about whatever, and it just people to talk about it and to voice, and you and I have conversations, and we don't always agree about everything. But I respect your opinion, and I want to hear it, and and it's always good to hear the other side, and it may make me open up my mind and think about things too at times. So I like it.
I just think that it's my cup. I paid for it. I don't want your conversation on my cup. It's the same thing as what if I owned a place and I said, guns. People kill people, not guns. Let's talk about it. People would think that was the most ridiculous thing in the world, because it is, to put on a coffee cup to try to spark a conversation, in my opinion.
You have a choice not to go to Starbucks.
I know. I certainly do.
You don't have to go, so that's up to you.
No, but it's the same. Wouldn't it be the same thing if I said people kill people, guns don't? Let's talk about it. Wouldn't that be the same thing?
No.
How's that not the same thing?
No, it's just not. If you think that equates, then this conversation just ended.
But it is the same thing.
No, it's not. Anyway, so I know one thing we do agree with, Angie, and that is the Silver Springs International Film Festival is right around the corner. And today over at the Brick, and you reminded me of this, I went back and read the press release. There's something significant happened over there, and you're going to be there, and I'm going to be there too.
Yeah, we've got the Silver Springs International Film Festival 8th through the 12th, so we are busy on that. What's happening at actually down at the Brick this evening is Susie Bush with Tri-Eagle is having an unveiling of something special that ties into the Marion Cultural Alliance, and they're making a donation to the Cultural Alliance tonight. So they're having a nice reception there, and I don't want to spoil what they're unveiling, because this is their event, but you will be seeing something in front of Tri-Eagle very soon that they're unveiling tonight down at Brick City of the Arts, and it's part of Marion Cultural Alliance. So yeah, I hope you make it. It's going to be fun.
I think it's out of the bag because it was in the release. I think I mentioned it on the air. It's in the press release. But
and that's fine if it is. Yeah, that's fine. I just have it. I was like, okay, so it's announced. Yeah, so
it's going to be me. It's going to be me. Well, it's Bud, right?
It's Bud.
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be me.
There you go. That's it. Bud Buddy is going to be there. But yeah, a lot of people may not even realize that the Marion Cultural Alliance is the group that brought Horse Fever, which is one of the best ran public art projects in the country. I don't even think people know that. It was the amount of money that came in from that project, and the people, those horses are not all in Ocala, because a lot of them actually went out of the state for people who came here and auctioned and bought those, and the money went then to Marion Cultural Alliance, which is basically an organization that is a platform for all of the cultural arts in Marion County. So it's really cool. So they wanted to kind of piggyback off of, they wanted to have their own horse, so they contacted the Alliance and said, hey, can we make a donation to you? Because this is your project. And
Yes.
they said, can we make a donation to the Cultural Alliance, because we appreciate everything you guys have done for bringing this, but we would like our own horse. And so yeah, they're doing their unveiling tonight. So and Kim Weekly is the one who they commissioned to do the art.
Why don't you go ahead and tell folks about the dates? They are a little bit different this year. We mentioned them earlier with Teddy Goss of the film festival, and where they can get the tickets, because online there's a little bit of confusion. We talked about it Monday when you were out of town, making sure people know what the website is and how to get the information on the tickets. And you can buy, all one pass for the whole thing, or you can buy dailies or whatever. And there's a variety of different things to go see, including the opening movie, Cross Creek. So you've done a great job of getting the word out there. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what they need to know about?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you go to SpringsFilmFest.com, that's going to have all of the information on the tickets. So it's really done beautifully this year. So when you log into that account, up in the top right corner, it'll say buy tickets or tickets, and you click on that, and it's going to give you a breakdown if you would like the all access pass, which gives you for $250 access to all the screenings, all of the events, and we have got fun events every single night happening. It gives you into the dinner that is happening on the final night, that street party, which is only 160 people will be able to attend that dinner. And so all of that is there. And then it breaks it down. If you only want to come to a day, just come see some movies during one day, you can buy those, a day pass. You can come to the opening night, which, like you mentioned, you'd have a reception down at the Brick City Center of the Arts, and then head over to see Cross Creek with Mary Steenburgen. So there's each item is itemized out there on the website, and it's the best place to do it is just right there on the site. It might give you, there are a couple of places going to give you for some hard copy tickets, but the very best thing to do is just do it right there on the site, and you can print them or pick them, choose to pick them up at Will Call at the Marion Theater.
All right. You ready to go out with a little fake or factoid with Tom here?
Sure, I can do that.
All right. Have that music going, and Angie Lewis is going to box the ears of Tom Schmitz once again.
Computer's down.
We do without the music. We'll pretend like it is. All right, here we go. Tweets. Fake or factoid is the program, and Angie Lewis versus Tom Schmitz. You're about 4 out of 5 on him.
I had a great run for a while, and I don't know what happened.
Here we go. We're going to go right down the list real fast and get it in. Number 1, Charlie Chaplin once entered a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest, and he lost.
I'm going to say fake.
That's a fact.
Tom's right. It's a fact. 1 for Tom. Number 2, British talk show legend David Frost once had his lookalike host his show, and only 20 people could tell the difference.
Fake.
Yeah, fake.
Both say fake. Both correct.
Yep.
Number 3, hacky sack was invented in Turkey.
Fact.
I'm going to say fake because I don't want to copy Tom.
All right. And Tom's right. So Tom has got you 2-0, so you better hang on here. Number 4, Tom's got to go first. The card game bridge was invented in Jakarta. Tom, you go first.
Fact.
Fake.
1 more for Angie. It's fake. All right, now it's
2-1.
Coming down to the final one, so Tom's got to go first so you can go opposite. Tom, it is widely believed that bridge came from the British card game whist.
Fake.
I was going to say fake as well.
No, you can't. You have to go opposite to have a chance to catch it.
Okay, I'll say fact.
That means you just tied him. And here's what I want to get to. Here you go.
The number
of policies and accounts written by State Farm Insurance in 2014 was, write it down, Tom, it's in the millions, as you know, the number of policies and accounts written by State Farm Insurance at the end of 2014. I don't want to embarrass you, Angie, but I figured we'd give a little pub to the business, So what's your number, Tom?
Angie said, I've already written it down, but I'm not going to let you say the number that she says 01.
Well, what about you? What if she says it and you say 01?
No, I've already written mine down.
All right.
I'll say, I'm probably going to, this will be embarrassing, but I'll probably miss it, but I'm going to say $243 million.
$243 million. Angie says were written by State Farm in 2014.
I'm way below that. I wrote $14 million.
Well, do the math. I think maybe Angie, he got you by as little as $82 million.
Oh, I won, yeah.
Maybe $82 million. I didn't mean to get you on the spot there, Angie, but I wouldn't have any idea either.
That's
Well, now you know, and you'll have that in your back pocket when you go. That's pretty good. $82 million, right?
So $82 million. That's not
there
bad.
You go. All right, Angie. You have a good one. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right. Bye-bye.
Angie Lewis, State Farm Agency. I'm going to come back and make a final comment on Starbucks after this timeout.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Professor Gadget. Jim George from American Cable Services will be talking to us about technology.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events are bite-sized.
And then we'll be speaking to Philip Donley. He earned his pilot's license at the age of 18 and began flying jets at the age of 20, and he's logged more than 6 million miles while traveling to more than 40 countries on 5 continents. And he's talking about when pilots lose control, too much dependence placed on the plane's automation and not on the skills of the pilot.
Join Kelly Fuquay-Hart and her guests on Ocala Magazine Radio.
And then let's talk golf with Jim Beckett. Jim is a PGA professional and the founder of the Golf College.
Dr. Childs Rigales is a researcher known for his work on instructional methods and theories. He'll be speaking about his new book, Reinventing Schools. It's time to break the mold.
All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Coming up at the top of the hour, it's Southern Pigskin tonight. You don't want to miss it if you want to talk a little football and a little basketball too, by the way. So, all right, Tom, back to the conversation. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I had to finish that discussion to get Angie in. Here's the difference, and this is my opinion, and you can respond. It isn't about whether I believe politically it's correct or bad or good or whatever. I just wish more businesses would do things to help our country be a better place. And let's be honest, race relations are really poor right now. It feels like sometimes I'm in the 60s again. And we know that we're not making progress. Every day it's another story about another African-American having to do battle with the police, and you can take whatever position you want to on it. The fact is it's happening. We talked about the Starbucks program, which is where they have the baristas, they're writing on the cup, Race Together, RACE. The difference in what we talked about with your comparison, I'll let you defend your position if you want to, is you said, well, that's like having a gun shop and say guns don't kill people, people kill people. Here's the thing.
Let's talk about it.
That's okay, but it's not the same thing. It's apples and oranges. Because you're not taking a political stance when you write something on a cup. You're not taking you're not taking a pro or con, you're just saying the words. Now, if you want to take the same example and say, let's just let's just have a conversation about guns. That's a different deal. That's fine if you want to have a conversation about guns. So I think what the idea here is not to politicize this by Starbucks, but the fact that we're talking about it now is a start where don't we want to talk about it? Race is difficult to talk about today, especially among opposing races or different races. And I think we need to have more of it. There's a lot of things that let's be honest, African Americans don't understand about Caucasians and Hispanics and Asians, and a lot of things that they don't understand about African Americans as well. And it's not just African Americans, by the way. It just happens to be that's where the focal point in our country is right now. So my point, and you can respond. I'll thank our guests right now. Thanks to Angie Lewis and Teddy Gauze and coming up as Southern Pixie. And Tom, you can respond.
I understand the sentiment. The conversation needs to start. I think it's irresponsible of a company to try to have their employees writing to start the conversation, because I can see this happening, because not everybody has the intelligence and the ability to have a conversation with two different points of view like you and I. I can see some Bubba or some Earl or some African American who doesn't like Caucasians. A white person writes on their race, whatever the statement was, hands it to an African American. What are you handing that to me for? You don't like my race? I can see that happening. I can see a white person that is of the Aryan belief saying, from a black person getting it from an African American, what are you handing me that for? I don't like nothing about your race. I can see that happening, and Starbucks isn't the place that should happen in. And I think that the unfortunate fallout of this will be incidents like that all over the country.
And that's fine for the comment. The problem is, when do and where do we start talking about race? That's the issue. So there you go. All right, stay tuned for the program Southern Pigskin tonight, and we'll talk at you again tomorrow. Stay tuned to
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
Guy Harvey Checking is now exclusively available at Gateway Bank. With Guy Harvey Checking, you will receive Gateway's premium checking account, plus several other Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation features, including membership to the Guy Harvey Hammerhead Nation, free Guy Harvey t-shirt, and an exclusive Guy Harvey debit card. At Gateway Bank, we will make a $50 donation to the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation for every new account opened. This is just one more reason why people choose Gateway Bank. Sign up today for your exclusive Guy Harvey checking account with Gateway. Details available at gatewaybankcfl.com, member FDIC.
The next drink is on Dave Del Rio at Eaton's Beach Sand Barn Grill. Just ask him for it. But don't wait. Show up soon, because this offer isn't going to last very long. Eaton's Beach Sand Barn Grill will be filling up fast because their friends from the north are headed back that way soon. The good news is that seating is now available and Dave's buying the first drink. If you've been hearing about the crowd at Eaton's Beach Sand Barn Grill and couldn't get in, now you can see firsthand what your friends have been talking about. Great food. Try Chef Dave's tantalizing Floresiana menu. Great location. Check out those gorgeous sunsets over Lake Weir. Great people. Starting with Chef Dave Del Rio, who began his career in 1978. This spicy guy has been instrumental in opening over 100 restaurants. And he's buying you a drink. Eaton's Beach Sand Barn Grill, where there's little or no waiting these days. Come see what started out as Jay Eaton's dream almost 90 years ago. It's more awesome than ever. Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
Career Source Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source Citrus Levy Marion and learn how they can help you.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
This is Southern Pigskin Tonight with host Buddy Martin on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network.
Hello, welcome to Southern Pigskin Tonight. Let's see now. Isn't a basketball made out of pigskin too?
Certainly is.
March Madness isn't just about the round ball, so today on the show, we'll talk a little basketball and football. I'm Buddy Martin along with Tom Schmitz here in the southernmost region of the Southern Pigskin Radio Network, our WOCA studios in beautiful Ocala. Reports on spring football are beginning to emerge now. We'll have at least 3 of them today, all about keeping our eyes peeled on the NCAA basketball brackets. It's a little bit late to be filling out your bracket now, but before the hour is over, we'll at least have a look at our Elite 8. Then maybe we'll take a look at what a real football tournament might look like, the Elite 8, complete with brackets.
Hold on, buddy. Whoa. Did you say football tournament? What?
Well, of course, that's what it is, Tom. After all, that's where the Power 5 conferences got their idea last year of the 14 playoff, the March Madness model. I'll explain later.
Well, I'll tell you this, it must be football time again, buddy, because the head ball coach was at it again. He's already took a shot at Tennessee this week.
Yes, apparently he has reloaded his dart supply and is ready to resume firing after what was a subpar season, at least for Steve Spurrier.
Well, he thinks that a 7-6 year he had would be welcomed in Knoxville. His quote was, in Knoxville, they're still doing cartwheels because they went 7-6 and won a bowl game.
He's a beauty, Steve Winnar. I recently took a look at some of his quotes over the years, Tom, and nobody in college football has ever been quoted more widely. I think one of my favorites is also one about Tennessee. At halftime of a Tennessee-Florida game, Spurrier was asked if the new Tennessee Stadium was the loudest place he'd ever played in. He said, it was really loud, possibly louder than the Swamp, and then the game started. He's one of several stories about spring practice. The ball coach said his quarterbacks, Connor Mitch and Perry Orth, had pretty good days up in Columbia.
I guess we'll check in on a couple of other SEC teams today, buddy, Florida and Tennessee. Plus, we'll run up the road to see what's happening in Tallahassee at Florida State.
That's right. Coming up, though, it's up in Gainesville. Robbie Andrew, the Gainesville Sun, fills us in on what the Florida quarterback situation is. And can you believe this? quarterback controversy, but not the kind you think. Then we'll talk with John Adams of the Knoxville News Sentinel about the emergence of the Tennessee Vols. Maybe the Vols will emerge, but for sure we'll talk to John Adams. And finally, we'll see how the search is going by Jimbo Fisher for Jameis Winston's replacement as the FSU quarterback.
I tell you somebody you don't have to replace, buddy. That's Terry Bradshaw. He's still hanging out in Hawaii, of course, but he left his mailbag behind for us, so he'll be along later to open up his Hey Terry Bradshaw at gmail.com mailbag.
When you're a star, you can do that. Right now, let's go up I-95 to the mothership in Brunswick and talk to the 3-and-out team, including host Kevin Thomas and SouthernPigskin.com editor Matt Osborne. Kevin, BJ, and Matt are heard weekdays on 790 AM and 103.7 FM in Brunswick, 1400 AM and 104.3 FM in Savannah, Hilton Head, and 1350 in Blackshear, Waycross. So, Kevin, what do you professors of bracketology have for us today?
Thanks, buddy. Good to have you back here on Southern Pigskin. Tonight we've got Matt Osborne, the editor of SouthernPigskin.com, in here with us. We got spring practice going on all across the country. Matt, Alabama, one of those teams that's looking for a quarterback. Is it cut and dry who their quarterback's going to be here going through spring?
No, absolutely not. I think we're back to the same situation we were in last year, where you're going to have multi-person competition for that starting job. Now, it appears once again that the leader may be Jacob Coker, the transfer from Florida State. He has all of the physical tools, the measurements that you would want out of a prototypical quarterback, but to this point has not performed as well when in game competition. So he's going to have an opportunity. A couple of the highly ranked recruits they've been able to bring in are going to have a shot at it. But I think the good news is we're talking about Alabama, so you're still talking about dominant offensive line, Derrick Henry in the backfield. You're going to run the football. You're looking for somebody, and people don't like this term, manage the game. But I think that's exactly what you're looking for. That is a recipe for success with the way that the Crimson Tide play defense, with the way they run the football. So you just have to find somebody who's going to make smart decisions with the football, who's not going to turn it over, and can come up with a big play when you need it. And right now, honestly, Kevin, I have no clue who that guy's going to be.
That's why you have the open competition there in spring. Obviously, you look around the South as well. What is maybe the next biggest quarterback battle you see raging here during the spring?
Well, I think an interesting one to watch is going to be at the University of Georgia. There are other quarterback competitions that are going to be taking place, but I don't think any at a school that is expected to contend like the Bulldogs are this year. And it's somewhat similar to the situation. It's actually very similar to the situation in Tuscaloosa, in that the Dogs have 4 starters coming back on the offensive line: Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, Keith Marshall in the backfield. You're going to be able to run the football. So you're just looking for a guy that can value the football, make smart decisions. Right now, the front runner is Bryce Ramsey, who has an absolutely huge arm. Was the backup to Hudson Mason last year, but he's having to fight off Fatan Bauda, who's more of a running quarterback. I don't know that it's a perfect fit for Coach Schottenheimer's new offense that he's bringing in place, more pro style. But Jacob Park, who redshirted last year. So I think with the expectations that are going to be around that Georgia program heading into the 2015 season, you're going to need a quarterback who can get the job done. We think it's Bryce Ramsey, but this competition is going to go on for a while. He's going to have every opportunity to win it during the spring.
All right, Matt, we are still here on the first day of the NCAA tournament. Give us quickly your Final Four. We got about a minute, and just maybe why you picked those teams. I know it's a lot of fun filling out brackets, but, you know, even as educated a guess, that's what's the beauty of it. We have the same amount of, I guess, chance of getting it right as does the office secretary, as does, Jay Billis, as does anybody of filling this thing out.
I have no chance, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to start in the East. I like the Virginia Cavaliers. I think there's a consensus out there. Maybe Villanova is the weakest 1 seed. The Cavaliers were a 1 seed last year, have tournament experience. They're veteran. They have good athleticism. They play defense, and Tony Bennett is the 2-time ACC Coach of the Year, so I like the Cavaliers to come out of the East. In the South, maybe some people would consider it an upset. Iowa State, another team that has veteran experience, just won the Big 12 championship, and they can score the basketball. They can get up and down. I don't think Duke and Gonzaga play quite enough defense for my liking, so I'll take the Cyclones in the South. In the West, Wisconsin. I'm a huge Badger fan. Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker, those guys not only play defense, they're very efficient on the offensive end. And my surprise in the Midwest, Kentucky.
Yeah, everybody's.
But they're only going to win. They're going to win one game by only 18 points. So that'll be a shocker.
And that's it. I mean, everybody likes Kentucky in this tournament. That's going to do it for us here on Southern Pigskin tonight. Back to you, buddy.
Thanks, Kevin. To show you how desperate we are for information about Florida Gator football, we've already got a bit of a controversy with the new coach. That's right. This week, when the Gators took the field for spring practice, there were more questions than answers because of limited access. Robbie Andrew, the Gainesville Sun, picked it up from there.
But we only get to see a couple of minutes of practice. Usually they're just stretching. So, we only had one meeting with McElwain. So, we're kind of in the dark as to what's going on out there. We basically see him stretch and do maybe an early drill, and then we're out of the gate 15 minutes into practice. So, there's really not a whole lot I can tell you. The thing I did notice, the tempo is incredible. I mean, there is no standing around. I mean, they're going from station to station. It's really up-tempo, a lot of energy. And, even the players said that they're getting in a lot more reps than they did before in the Will Muschamp. So getting a bunch of reps and getting a lot of high-energy practice so far through 2 days.
You pretty much have to because that's all you have at this point in time.
Yeah, exactly.
And, now, I guess we could say we have a bit of a quarterback controversy, even if only in the minds of several media people. But already there's the story out about Mark Long, the AP, who kind of went off on McElwain about his, let's say, less than truthful statement. I believe the phrase used car salesman was used in there someplace. I understand the frustration. You know this better than anybody. You had to deal with coaches all these years, and they're not sometimes, they're not straight up with you a lot of times. But what is your judgment of what he said on 1010XL about the fact that he wasn't shooting straight on the quarterback situation, and he sounded apparently from what he wrote like he was very frustrated. What is your take on that?
Well, I think people took this thing the wrong way, and I think that McElwain's message flew right over the heads of some people, and they took it the wrong way. McElwain was basically saying he knew who took the first rep. That's no big deal. Nobody's doubting that, but he was by saying who did take the first rep is saying it doesn't mean anything now. It's the first 15 minutes of the first practice of the spring with two quarterbacks who are dead even. So what you have is a quarterback competition, nothing close to a controversy of this. McElwain and Nussmeier don't know what these guys can do yet. They haven't been around them enough. So, if one guy takes the first reps, it means nothing. I think that's what McElwain was trying to get across to the media yesterday and everybody else, that it doesn't matter who took the first rep at quarterback. It's meaningless. It's the first day of spring. It's 15 minutes of practice. It means nothing. So I think a lot of people miss that message. And the thing is, buddy, we haven't been around him enough to come up with an opinion like that. And I think, and I don't want to speak from Art, but I think his frustration goes back over the years of covering Florida football, where you have a difficult time sometimes getting honesty out of the coach. And Muschamp, wasn't forthright or forthcoming with injuries and things like that. So I think it's several years of frustration building up. We haven't been around McElwain enough to judge him one way or the other, I don't think. And he's going to be judged ultimately by how many games he wins. And he's been fine with us so far. I don't think there's a huge thing in the media that they think he's a used car salesman by any means.
Well, I think your buddy's painted you that way now. But anyway, I'll ask Mark about that next time. I am interested to see Will Grier. I've seen nothing of Will Grier. What do you know of Will Grier?
Well, we only saw him for a few practices in the fall, buddy, in August. And, it's really hard to judge him there. All I know is that, he's got a very quick release. He looks like he can really throw the ball. But, from what I've heard, he wasn't real good as far as picking up, coverages and things early in August last year. I think that's like Treon Harris beat him up for the number 2 quarterback role there, in August. And that's why he was number 2 guy going into the season. But, I think he's got a really big upside. I think he's more of a drop-back quarterback, which if McElwain's going to run a pro, so I think he would seem a good fit for that. But the thing about Treon Harris, people that are saying Treon Harris maybe should transfer, there's a reason he was the number 2 quarterback last year. And you can't discount the fact that he started 6 games, and played in the SEC, went to Tennessee, came off the bench and won a game there. So, maybe Will Grier is a popular pick right now, but I certainly wouldn't discount Treon Harris' chances of being the quarterback.
Thanks, Robbie. Maybe we'll catch up with you next week for another chat to see if this little spat is deepened or maybe blown over. A little later, we'll check on Terry Bradshaw's mailbag. You may email Terry, as Tom said, at heyterrybradshaw@gmail.com, and maybe we'll use one of your comments on the show. Still to come, John Adams of the Knoxville News Sentinel, who says maybe the SEC won't be back at the seat of power this year in the college football playoffs. Next on Southern Pigskin Tonight.
More with Buddy Martin and Southern Pigskin Tonight on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network next.
Time now to spiff up your bling for spring. Make your rings look brand new. Our master jeweler at Goss & Son will rhodium finish your rings for just $69.95, regular price $75. It's like waxing your car. It brings that shine back and looks all brand new all over again. So come see us. Our downtown location, Goss & Son Jewelers, serving you downtown for 65 years. Whenever you're searching for an attorney, you want somebody with knowledge who has a commitment to our community and our state. Such is the case with Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, in everything from car and other motor vehicle accidents, work accidents, personal injury, and wrongful death cases. Daniel L. Hightower also handles Social Security disability and bankruptcy. Call him today at 352-629-7777 or check out danhightower.com. Daniel L. Hightower, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. Right on the southwestern corner of the square sits one of the finest dining establishments in Florida, Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Restaurant. Mark's offers big city dining amenities in a charming and small town setting. It's a rare treat to experience both the ambiance and the exquisite cuisine in a friendly atmosphere. Ocala's finest restaurant serves the finest beef, the freshest seafood, premium wines, and naturally fresh vegetables. From valet parking to splendid service, Mark's offers the complete package. Check it out today. Mark's Prime Seafood and Steakhouse Restaurant. Does osteoarthritis bring frustration with every step? Do pain and stiffness affect your everyday activities? If so, you may be interested in a research study for the treatment of pain associated with osteoarthritis. Rinstar Medical Research is conducting a research study of an investigational medication for individuals between the ages of 40 and 75 and who have been treated for the pain associated with osteoarthritis for at least 3 months. Qualified participants will receive study-related medical care and investigational medication. Compensation for time and travel will be provided. To learn more about this osteoarthritis study, please call Rinstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. Again, that's 352-629-5800. Located next door to Silver Spring State Park and a few minutes from historic downtown Ocala, our award-winning Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites of Silver Springs is the place to stay for a friendly, memorable, and fun experience. Enjoy our fast and free Wi-Fi, complimentary hot breakfast, and free parking. Whether you're in town for work or play, our friendly staff will make you feel right at home. That's the Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Silver Springs.
Proud sponsor of College of Central Florida basketball on WOCA The Source.
Need a car? Need financing? Need somebody to cut through the red tape and send you rolling down the highway? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Got great credit and just prefer a quality pre-owned car at a fair price from somebody you can trust? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Want to avoid high pressure to feel appreciated and be able to choose from a wide selection of AutoCheck and Carfax certified vehicles? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala and Bellevue. Prestige, it's all there in our name.
Now back to more Southern Pigskin Tonight with your host, Buddy Martin, on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network.
One of the teams everybody's talking about is possibly a contender and a strong one in the SEC East and maybe even for the SEC Championship. Butch Jones has done a nice job. Another good recruiting class. They got some momentum in Knoxville. The ship appears to be turned around. We'll see what the Vols have this year. And with us to talk about SEC football and the Tennessee Vols is our friend John Adams of the Knoxville News Sentinel. I'm ready for some football. John, how about you?
Well, not spring football. I think that's one of the most overrated ventures of all time.
Well, when you're hungry for football, when you take it however you can get it, right? Arena. And by the way, there are a lot of different stories about SEC football this spring. We can go over a couple of the storylines real quick, and you can comment on them. We know what's happening at Florida with Jim McElwain. Steve Spurrier in South Carolina, obviously trying to turn that thing around after what he calls a good year, although it's 7-6 and an Independence Bowl win compared to what it could have been. And then Mark Richt looking for a quarterback at Georgia. A lot of interesting storylines out there. John, before we get to the Vols, which one of those or what other stories are intriguing you this spring, and what will we be able to tell about it?
Well, I think it's really, the East is really interesting because I guess disarray is not the right word, but when you think of the SEC as the best conference in college football, and it has been for a while, obviously, I don't think there's any debate about that. But I don't think it will be the best conference next season. I don't think it's going to put anybody in the championship playoff. I think there's going to be a drop off this year, and I think particularly when you look at the SEC, there's so many question marks wherever you look. South Carolina, Florida, Georgia. Vanderbilt, of course, there's a question mark at Vanderbilt. But you know what I mean? It's just there's no certainty. And even when you look at the West, as good as the West was this past season, you look at those teams in this upcoming season, and there's no sure thing. There's no team there that I'll look at and say, boy, that team could win the national title. I don't feel like that about any of those teams.
I'd agree with you that people are talking a lot smack about LSU bouncing back, but that program hasn't been up to speed. You can't be sure about Jacob Coker at Alabama, but certainly they got plenty of good players. Auburn, Gus Malzahn appears to be confident about his team, and there's teams like Arkansas we hadn't brought up, who, by the way, finished strong last year. People say, you know what, maybe he's got them going the right way.
Well, I tell you, buddy, when you look at the SEC West and you just try and pick them, I've never had such a hard time picking a division in the SEC West. You have to put somebody last. And you look at hitting one of those 7 teams, and whereas I don't think there's a national championship contender among them, I think there's 7 teams, if things went the right way, all 7 are top 25 possibility. So it's just really hard to decide which one of those teams you put first. I mean, you mentioned LSU. I think LSU has great talent. The quarterback question mark, though, is so big, and also LSU under Les Miles just has a history of playing the wrong guy. So if LSU just gets a quarterback who can manage the offense and not make big mistakes, I kind of would favor LSU, I think.
And by the way, a new defensive coordinator, John Chavis, down at Texas A&M. We haven't even mentioned Texas A&M or Mississippi State of Mississippi. So, yeah, there's a lot going on in the West there. But let's focus for a second on the Vols. You and I had an interesting conversation several years ago when they were trying to find a coach at Tennessee, and there was a flirtation with Charlie Strong. And it looked like he would be a great candidate, but apparently Charlie had a deal cut already and was going to Texas, which he did. In retrospect, Butch Jones has been a very good fit for Tennessee. It looks like he's got, I won't say turn the corner, but let's just say he's got to go in the right direction. This team had impressive moments. A lot of it's going to be about Joshua Dobbs, probably, I guess, now. But what is all the buzz in Knoxville? I mean, you had another good recruiting class. A lot of people saying Tennessee's a dark horse to win the East.
Buddy, I really don't look at it as a dark horse to win the East. I think it should be the favorite. I mean, it's got 19 starters returning. It's had another great recruiting class, which will provide more depth. I think it has the best quarterback in the East. It's going to have 2 good running backs this year. Alvin Kamara, the junior college transfer, I think is going to have a tremendous season for Tennessee. They already had Jalen Hurd. The offensive line is still an issue. But you look around and you look at those 2 pass rush ends, best pass rush tandem in the SEC. You look at with Kurt Magid and Derek Barnett, and you look on the defense. One way I always evaluate teams in the SEC, not that it's infallible or anything, it's just the way I do it. I go through the raw depth charts and I look and I say, who would I think could be an all-SEC player from this team? And, I mean, the last few years when you look at Tennessee, there's just, you might could say 2 maybe. But now you have 6 or 7 guys that you look at and say, well, they have that kind of potential. I just think the talent is up so much higher than it was in so many. I mean, this has been a downturn for a long time now. So I just think Tennessee has a lot of experience, and a lot of young talent. When you look at how it played against Iowa, I know Iowa's no top 25 team or anything, but Tennessee looked like a good team in that bowl game. The score was misleading. It wasn't that close of a game. And I think that kind of convinced me that Tennessee could be the favorite over Georgia to win the East.
Yes, and I'm with you. I don't think I would have used the word dark horse myself, but that's kind of the word people are attaching. I guess because the Vols haven't been there in a while. I mean,
I understand why, yeah.
Can it be? I had a conversation with the old ball coach the other day. Excuse me, head ball coach. He's going to turn 70 in April. He doesn't want to be called old ball coach. The other day about the great rivalries. And, of course, when he was at Florida, Florida State, Florida, maybe the best rivalry in the country for a couple of years. They were both battling for supremacy. And Tennessee, Florida was a huge game. Whoever won that game was going to be the team that was going to be the team to beat. You know, that was going to be the East champion, and, of course, the East was dominant. So Tennessee and Florida used to be a huge, huge rivalry. That's fallen off because Florida hasn't done much lately. So let's talk about rivalries in the SEC with John Adams, the Knoxville News Sentinel. When you hold up the best rivals, certainly Auburn and Alabama have to be right there at the top, and if not the country. But you know, Tennessee used to have a great rivalry with Alabama. Talk about some of the rivalries Tennessee's got, and whether they're now still rivals.
Well, it's hard to say they were rival to Alabama because they haven't beat them since Nick Saban went there. A lot of those games haven't been close. But I think Tennessee will be competitive against Alabama this year. You look at the Tennessee-Georgia rivalries, that's been a good rivalry. I think Tennessee, because of Steve Spurrier being from Tennessee, that's added something to the South Carolina-Tennessee rivalry. And, of course, you draw on what happened when he was at Florida. The Tennessee-Florida rivalry, as you mentioned, was such a big deal. So Tennessee has always had a lot of rivals, I think. And of course, the Alabama was the one that got most attention. But when they went into divisional play, I think those opponents, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, and, Kentucky and Tennessee, beating Tennessee is a huge deal for Kentucky. Beating Tennessee is a huge deal for Vanderbilt because they don't do it very often.
True. John, where do you come down on this whole thing, which I think is going to be a non-issue, in my opinion, of freshman ineligibility?
Oh, that's never going to happen. That horse left the barn a long time ago. I just don't know. I don't see. You can't bring that back. That's almost like posturing. When the Big Ten comes out with that, it's almost as though it's sounding like it cares more about the academic integrity, the student athlete, blah, blah, blah. There's no way that can happen now. College football is going, just using it as an example, it's just too big of a deal. You can't rein it in. You got the SEC and ESPN are joined at the hip. It's a huge business, and you can't say, oh, we got all these great players over here, but we're going to let them sit out and adjust to college football. Come on. That's just not happening.
All right, let's talk about star power. This has been a league of star power. There probably are some great players that we haven't seen play yet. Nick Chubb, his last 3 games, he looked like Herschel Walker, didn't he?
I know. It's really one of the oddest things you've ever seen in the SEC. Seriously. I thought Todd Gurley was one of the all-time great running backs in the conference. Right up there with some of the best players ever, kind of right below that Herschel Walker, maybe Bo Jackson. Just a great back. I liked everything about him as a running back. He's gone, and they bring in a guy, and he looks just as good. He's powerful. He's got speed. He can cut. You don't see that happen too often. That reminds me of the old days in Southern Cal when they had three running backs stacked that were all going to star in the NFL. That would be their depth chart in the old days. You just don't see that. Georgia's on a great run with running backs. I think Nick Chubb stands out above everybody when you talk about star power. And I think Dak Prescott at quarterback, but Dak Prescott, you put him at Alabama, and they're saying this guy's going to win the Heisman. but he's not at Alabama. He's not at Auburn. So I don't think there's much star power in this league as there has been in recent years.
Yeah, he's really where he's been. Dak Prescott's Panama City, where he got a little scrap there. It was some.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I just read that story, and I'm going, if you're going to pick somebody to beat up on, you pick a 6'4", 230-pound guy. I mean, come on. I mean, drugs had to be involved in that decision.
For sure. John, we got 30 seconds. Let's talk about Matty Malk, who never gets any recognition in Missouri. And they seem like going to the East every year. Matty Malk is a heck of a player. Why didn't he get more attention?
Because he was so inconsistent. Look, this is one of the dumbest calls ever, but I made him preseason All-SEC quarterback in Prescott number 2. I really thought Matty Malk was going to have a huge year, but I watched him in every game, and he just was so inconsistent. He can make difficult plays. He looks like Johnny Manziel at times, but then at other times, he looks like he shouldn't be a starting quarterback in the SEC. And I don't know what to think of him this coming season. I just don't know.
Thanks, John. Be interesting to see if that SEC drop-off will surface this season. When you start making a list of the best college football coaches in America, it's a short one. Maybe Meyer and Saban and so forth. How come nobody brings up the name of a guy who won a national championship just 2 years ago and then went undefeated last year all the way to the semifinals? Our showfell of warchant.com weighs in on Jimbo Fisher next, right here on Southern Pigskin Tonight.
More with Buddy Martin and Southern Pigskin Tonight on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network next.
Guy Harvey Checking is now exclusively available at Gateway Bank. With Guy Harvey Checking, you will receive Gateway's premium checking account plus several other Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation features, including membership to the Guy Harvey Hammerhead Nation, free Guy Harvey t-shirt, and an exclusive Guy Harvey debit card. At Gateway Bank, we will make a $50 donation to the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation for every new account open. This is just one more reason why people choose Gateway Bank. Sign up today for your exclusive Guy Harvey checking account with Gateway. Details available at gatewaybankcfl.com, member FDIC.
Hello, I'm Tom Schmitz, here to tell you about Ocus, a great resource for any business and a proud partner of the CEP. Ocus offers your business radically new technology called next-generation websites. Sites that do not wear out, they automatically adapt to new technology like smartphones, tablets, and the next big thing. Why pay for technology that starts becoming obsolete the moment you buy it? With Ocus, there is so much more. Built into the Ocus platform is an unmatched array of business solutions adaptable to any business. Ocus is a superb example that cutting-edge technology can grow and prosper in Marion County. And I should know because they handle my website, ktforfun.com. Ocus has assisted numerous companies in Marion County that have succeeded online. You can learn more by visiting them online at ocus.com. That's OCOOS.com. Or drop by their downtown Ocala location at 116 South Magnolia Avenue. Find out how Ocus can provide your business with everything you need to succeed online.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day, whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands. At Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
Need a car? Need financing? Need somebody to cut through the red tape and send you rolling down the highway? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Got great credit and just prefer a quality pre-owned car at a fair price from somebody you can trust? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Want to avoid high pressure to feel appreciated and be able to choose from a wide selection of AutoCheck and Carfax certified vehicles? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala and Bellevue. Prestige, it's all there in our name. If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, it's our business to make your business better. Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
Now back to more Southern Pigskin Tonight with your host, Buddy Martin, on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network.
People tend to forget about the fact that Florida State was so dominant in the last 2 years. And at the end, obviously, lost to a really great football team. It's funny that in conversations about the best coaches or the greatest coaches, what you want to call them, in the country, you get your Urban Meyers and you get your Nick Sabans, and you may even get a Steve Spurrier. You might get, and very few people bring up the head coach of the Florida State University Seminoles. Gosh, I must be getting applause here for something I did. What was that? And that would be Jimbo Fisher. With us now on the program, I think he's at a basketball game, is the managing editor of warchant.com, Ira Schofel. Ira, are you at a game?
I'm actually at a baseball game. Sorry about that. It's guy for FSU just hit a grand slam. So,
wow.
They went up 7-3 against UCF.
You know, just a reminder of what a great program in baseball Florida State's got, and to hear the enthusiastic cheers, it sounded like a football crowd there for a minute.
Yeah, afternoon game. It's a pretty good crowd, and it's like you said, it's been a good day for FSU sports.
Yes, and they do play other sports besides football. So, anyway, my opening comments were about people who sort of overlook Jimbo. Why do you think that people don't bring his name up in that same context?
In terms of the best coaches in college football,
yes.
I think it's probably just a result of the fact that this is his first head coaching job, and I think there's and they also got off to a little bit of a slow start. His first year was a really good year. Second year, they were a little disappointing, and I think he had 4 losses. And then his third year, they went to the Orange Bowl, but it wasn't real impressive. They lost a couple games they should have won. And so I think people were starting to doubt him a little bit as a head coach. And then he has the big year, obviously 2 years ago when they won the national title. And I think if last year, if they had followed that up with like a real kind of dominant season, that would have helped. But, all of their games, it seemed like they were getting lucky. They had this comeback wins, which was impressive, but I think a lot of people felt like it was, a little bit of smoke and mirrors because they had to come back to win so many of those games. I think if he can do it for another year or two, he might start getting up there, but I think right now people want to see a little bit more.
Yes, there are very few runs that like Urban Meyers had. Now he's like, what is he, like 36-3 or something? And now Jimbo was 36-1, whatever. That didn't happen much in college football anymore. And those are just, and like you say, you got to win several championships to be considered in that company. But nonetheless, Jimbo Fisher is starting a name that would go in that circle of the elite coaches. Let's talk about the new Florida State Seminoles football team. You lost a lot. They lost a lot, obviously, at quarterback position and tight end and what have you. And, there's plenty of talent on that roster. Let's talk about next year's football team, how it might change and how it might look since Nick O'Leary's gone, James Winston's gone, what have you, and Dalvin Cook is back, a guy they only discovered seemingly late in the season. But what a force he was late in the year.
Yeah, he really is. And I think there's, some people want to see Dalvin Cook maybe become, the focal point of the offense. Florida State, under Jimbo Fisher, has been more of a passing team that sets up the running game. But I think some people think with a new quarterback, James Winston moving on, and, they expect Sean McGuire, a junior, to win the quarterback job. And, I think a lot of people would like to see them maybe focus a little bit more on the ground game, control it, play a little bit better defense. And win games that way. But I don't know. That's really never been Jimbo's nature. He's always been a throw it first kind of coach. He likes to be balanced, but he likes to start off by throwing the ball. So I'm curious to see what they do. But Dalvin Cook, is a rare talent. He's probably the best running back they've had here. You'd have to say probably since Warwick Dunn.
I think so. The best I've seen. Last time FSU ran the ball really well, in my opinion, was Warwick Dunn. He gets on that edge. And he is tough to bring down and uses that sideline. And he's got some scoots. He really does. He looks impressive. And he's a physically pretty good. Although he took some hits early on in the year, as you pointed out, and found out this is a big boy football, he finally got his bearings, and I think he learned to run balanced and smart, and he knows how to use his blockers. And that burst of speed on the sideline, down the sideline, really makes him an exceptional running back. So I wouldn't blame Jimbo for wanting to run the offense around him. Defensively, what does it look like?
It's going to be a lot of the same guys. They only lost, really they shouldn't have lost anybody except that the 4 underclassmen leave. They both starting cornerbacks, P.J. Williams and Ronald Darby, both win the draft. And then also defensive tackle Eddie Goldman and defensive end Mario Edwards Jr. So they lost 4 really good players. They've got 7 guys back. It's going to be some interesting battles. I think most of the attention is going to be on the cornerback spots and its safety because even though they've got a few of those defensive backs back, they didn't play well last year. FSU's secondary was pretty weak. It, definitely got exposed by Oregon in the playoff game. And then with P.J. Williams and Ronald Darby leaving, you got some openings. So they're going to want to see some of these young guys step up. They also have their one position switch going into the spring. Ryan Green, who was a big-time prospect at running back, is moving to cornerback. He played both ways in high school, so they want to see him compete for a cornerback job. And then I think even at safety, where they have 2 starters back, and Tyler Hunter and Nate and Jalen Ramsey and Nate Andrews is back as well. They've got a 5-star big-time freshman, Derwin James, out of Polk County coming in. And we've seen a little bit of him already going into spring practice, and he looks like a guy who might be able to play early. So I think most of the attention is going to be on that secondary and see if they can play better than they did this past year.
Let's talk about Jameis leaving. The way it looked in the final game, it was time for Jameis to go. I don't know what was said there on the sideline between him and Jimbo, but it wasn't pretty. Certainly, you got to give him a lot of ups for what he's done for the program, and even though he made some bad mistakes, he was a great player, and he brought them a lot of victories. Now the question is, can the loss of his athletic skills be balanced out with the fact that the annoyance factor, which he got to be a concern, would balance out some? Is that going to be a plus minus?
It's a tough call. I mean, there are definitely a lot of people who felt like it was time, even in the athletic department and around the program, and certainly some fans felt that way. But it's easy to say that, and then but now you have to live with the reality of who's going to take over that position. And really, for 2 years, I would argue that Florida State's had the best quarterback in the country, and so now you're going to go from that and that level of play to a guy who. If it's Sean McGuire, who's could be a solid college quarterback, but nobody expects to be a superstar. So, on the one hand, I think FSU fans are going to be happy to get a fresh start with the off-the-field stuff. But on Saturdays, I wouldn't be surprised if they're missing Jameis.
Well put. Let's look at the schedule. It's hard to tell about what a schedule will really be when you're looking at it in March because things change. But just a cursory glance down the schedule, really – it looks like a pretty good schedule for FSU the first, let's say, 6-7 games at least. And except for, the big games like Clemson naturally and even maybe Florida, Georgia Tech is one. I'm not sure about Louisville. There's a lot of winnable games on the schedule.
Yeah, I think they've got a really tough stretch kind of midway to start out the second half of the year where they've got
Louisville, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Clemson,
Yeah, they got to go to Georgia Tech. They got to go to Clemson, and they get Louisville or Miami at home. I mean, that's 4 or 5 weeks there. That it's going to be tough. But like you said, they do get a nice cushion to start off. I mean, I think that there's a good chance they can be 4-5 or 5-0, something like that, going into that stretch. And then their season is going to come down to those 2 or 3 weeks because you think they'll beat Miami at home. You would think that they've won their last 5 under Jimbo Fisher against Miami. At home against Louisville, you'd like their chances there. But Georgia Tech's the pick to win the Coastal Division. They got to go to Georgia Tech. And then they also have to go to Clemson, who will probably be the pick to win certainly the Atlantic, if not the whole conference. So, I think it's going to come down to those 2 or 3 weeks. And then, late in the year, they have to go to Gainesville. So, I just think it's going to be the first half of the season. I think Florida State could be in really good shape, but they're going to have to answer all the questions, like on defense, what we talked about, and then also really solidify what's going on at quarterback going into that stretch.
Well, I got about a minute to go real quick. I'll just say this. I know that Florida has been down for a while, and Florida State's certainly taking advantage of that. It's been a terrific recruiting year, again, for Florida State, just reloading. In about 30 seconds, sum up how much better this team might be with the recruits they got this year, despite losing their quarterback.
It's been the recruiting has been hot and heavy. I mean, I think they're only expected to sign about 20 guys this year, and they already have 12 commitments. They got their 12 commitments today. And that's the thing. I mean, if you look back cyclically over, college football, in terms of, when Florida State's been up or when Florida's been up or Miami's been up, the other two always come back pretty strong. And I think what Jimbo looks at right now is he feels he has to, he has to figure out a way to keep this going, to keep the momentum going on recruiting to extend that lead and not let those other teams catch up.
Thanks to Ira Schofel of warchant.com. You can mark this down. Somebody in the ACC has got to prove they're better than the champions. And right now, the Seminoles have to be among the top 4 or 5 teams in preseason polls. So I expect more of the same. As we started filling out our NCAA basketball brackets, it got me to thinking about what a football tournament would look like with an Elite Eight. Tom and I will share those thoughts next. Let's hear from Terry Bradshaw right here on Southern Pigskin Tonight.
More with Buddy Martin and Southern Pigskin Tonight on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network next.
Time now to spiff up your bling for spring. Make your rings look brand new. Our master jeweler at Goss & Son will rhodium finish your rings for just $69.95, regular price $75. It's like waxing your car. It brings that shine back and looks all brand new all over again. So come see us. Our downtown location, Goss & Son Jewelers, serving you downtown for 65 years. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life, from everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz.
Hi, I'm State Farm agent Angie Lewis. Come see me and my team for all your insurance and financial needs in the beautiful downtown historic district, 416 East Fort King Street, or call 291-2444.
The next drink is on Dave Del Rio at Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill. Just ask him for it. But don't wait. Show up soon because this offer isn't going to last very long. Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill will be filling up fast because their friends from the north are headed back that way soon. The good news is that seating is now available and Dave's buying the first drink. If you've been hearing about the crowd at Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill and couldn't get in, now you can see firsthand what your friends have been talking about. Great food. Try Chef Dave's tantalizing Floresiana menu. Great location. Check out those gorgeous sunsets over Lake Weir. Great people. Starting with Chef Dave Del Rio, who began his career in 1978. This spicy guy has been instrumental in opening over 100 restaurants. And he's buying you a drink. Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill, where there's little or no waiting these days. Come see what started out as Jay Eaton's dream almost 90 years ago. It's more awesome than ever. Right on the southwestern corner of the square sits one of the finest dining establishments in Florida, Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Restaurant. Mark's offers big city dining amenities in a charming and small town setting. It's a rare treat to experience both the ambiance and the exquisite cuisine in a friendly atmosphere. Ocala's finest restaurant serves the finest beef, the freshest seafood, premium wines, and naturally fresh vegetables. From valet parking to splendid service, Mark's offers the complete package. Check it out today. Mark's Prime Seafood and Steakhouse Restaurant. Nestled in the heart of horse country, just off I-75 exit 354, the award-winning and newly refreshed Howard Johnson Inn of Ocala invites you to pamper yourself in one of our comfy guest rooms. Enjoy our free and fast Wi-Fi, heated outdoor swimming pool, 24-hour fitness center, and our deluxe continental breakfast. Other on-site amenities include a restaurant, putt-putt golf, and a car wash. Go happy, go Hojo at the Howard Johnson Inn of Ocala.
Proud sponsor of College of Central Florida basketball on WOCA The Source.
Now back to more Southern Pigskin Tonight with your host, Buddy Martin.
Okay, we're taking a little liberty here with the name Southern Pigskin when it comes to hoops, but bear with us in this segment because you'll see how closely they do compare. After all, the current college football playoff was modeled after March Madness, but shorter. So Tom and I thought we'd give you our Elite Eight for basketball, and then we try to take a look at one of the preseason top 8 polls and see if we could do that in football as well.
So let me get this right, buddy. We got an Elite Eight in both sports?
You got it. That's correct. Okay, let's use Fox's preseason top 8. That's number 1, Ohio State. Number
Is this
2,
for football or basketball?
This is football. It's Fox's preseason top 8. We couldn't have a preseason in the middle of a season, Tom. That's called postseason. Okay, just in case you know. I know it's difficult for you Georgia Southern guys, but that's how it works. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, TCU. Number 3, Baylor. Number 4, Oregon. Number 5, Florida State. Number 6, Auburn. Number 7, Alabama. Number 8, Michigan State. And that's what you got for a top 8. Here's round 1 from me, and then you give me yours. Ohio State beats Michigan State, plays Alabama. Alabama upsets TCU. Auburn upsets Baylor, and FSU beats Oregon. Next, Ohio State beats Alabama. Auburn beats FSU. And it's Ohio State versus Auburn for the national championship in football. Buckeyes win again.
Surprise, surprise. You got Urban Meyer winning the national championship.
Let's see, who won it last year? Oh, I'm sorry.
I have Ohio State beating Michigan State easily, buddy. But I got TCU that holds on against a young Alabama team. Auburn, I think they upset Baylor with not too much fanfare. And then Oregon once again dominates Florida State. Oregon then loses a close one to the SEC representative Auburn. Ohio State finally meets a defense that can handle its 3-quarterback monster that is the Heisman Trophy candidates, all 3 of them. So TCU holds on there. And then, as you know, buddy, defense wins championships. So TCU defeats Oregon to win it all. I got TCU as your sexy national champions.
I believe this is about the 5th year you've had Oregon in the finals, I believe. TCU, I won't hold you to that, Tom. Let's go basketball here. All right, let's go. In the Midwest, of course, the tournament's already underway. Kentucky beats Notre Dame and plays Arizona from the South, who has upset Wisconsin to get there. This is just the Elite Eight now. In the East, Michigan State, by virtue of upsetting Villanova, plays Duke from the South, who has beaten Gonzaga to get there. Semifinals, Kentucky beats Arizona. Duke beats Michigan State, champion. The Kentucky Wildcats beat the Duke Blue Devils to go clean all the way to the title.
Buddy, history is not on your side. Being Indiana was the last team to go clean all the way to the national title, and that was in 1976. My Elite Eight looks like Kentucky and Notre Dame, with Notre Dame beating Kentucky to move into the Final Four. Wisconsin and Arizona in the West make the Elite Eight, and I got Arizona beating Wisconsin to move into the Final Four. I got Villanova and Virginia, 1 versus 2 in the East, with 2 winning out Virginia. And then I got Iowa State as a 3 seed against Duke in the South, with Iowa State winning. So my Final Four is Iowa State, Virginia, Notre Dame, and Arizona. Virginia beats Iowa State in a close one. Notre Dame controls Arizona in a close one. Then I got Notre Dame beating Virginia in the championship game. I got the Fighting Irish all the way to the national championship this year in basketball.
Okay, Tom. So I got Kentucky and Ohio State, right? Yes. Basketball, football. And you got TCU and who winning in basketball?
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Oh, my goodness gracious. All right. Time now to join Terry Bradshaw to open up his mailbag, wherever we may find him, Tom. Hey, Terry, where do we find you this time?
I'm watering a plumeria plant in the guest house that Tammy and I bought at Walmart 2 years ago. It was about a foot tall. We kept it inside the house, and we put it out in the summer. It's now 4.5 feet tall with blossoms all over it in the kitchen.
Well, this is a new one. We found you every place, including the chicken coop and running down the highway. Now we got the gardener working for us. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm working in the garden.
Well, I'm over here. Buddy, this is stuff I didn't used to do.
I know.
I'm married now, and now I'm unscrewing a steam thing so that she can put steam, a humidifier, on the plumeria. So
you're just getting
that's my
versatile.
life.
You are so
That's where I
versatile.
am now.
All right, so given that, you always ask those cards and letters when we sing, every time. You got them this time, Terry. You got some questions. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Some kind of weird ones today. I don't know about these questions. We need to tell folks they can write you at heyterrybradshaw@gmail.com. But here you go. I got what I got. All right. One comes from Nancy in Brunswick, Georgia. Do you think LeBron James could go and play tight end right now in the NFL?
No, he could not. He wouldn't have a clue just because he's a big old powerful man, and doesn't mean that would translate over into football. Got to learn how to block. He's almost too tall. He would have a hard time getting leverage on people. Now, would he be good? Would he be good down inside the 10 and stuff like that? Possibly, but it wouldn't take but a couple of passes his way before they jam him at the line. He would have to learn so many techniques. Great athlete, powerful body, but I don't think he could go right now and play. Absolutely not.
Let's go to Gerald in Ocala, who says, regarding the Des Bryant catch or no catch, should the NFL change its rules on what is considered a football move, and did Des Bryant catch that ball?
Well, I think they'll revisit it for sure. I'm not going to say for sure, since when did they listen to me? But I would think that it's going to be on the docket, or at least it should be. He did catch it, but he didn't, as they say, as the rule defines it, he didn't complete the process. Basically what happens, folks, you have to catch it, and you have to basically just hand it to the ref. And that ensures a complete catch. But when he reached for the end zone, buddy, and hit the ground, that's when the ball came loose, and that's when they ruled it not completing the process. Had he simply caught it, which he did, pulled it to his body, which he didn't, and not tried to extend it, and he'd have landed on the ground at probably the 2-yard line, and he would have had a chance to go ahead by a point.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good analysis. Now, can you sing that well?
Yeah, I sing real good.
All right. Let's give a little happy trails out there to all our friends and neighbors.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. I'm gonna wrap it up real fast. Grab my ball of cash and say good night to Buddy.
I guess it's time now for me to say good night.
Buddy, before you say good night, I don't want the audience to forget, they can reach us on Twitter at SPigskinTonight. That's SPigskin, the number 2, NITE, if you want to find us on Twitter.
On behalf of the guys from 3 and Out, our guests Robbie Andrew, John Adams, and Ira Schofeld, and my broadcast partners Terry Bradshaw and Tom Schmitz, I'm Buddy Martin, knowing full well that my basketball brackets will be crashing and burning even before the weekend is over. Hashtag down here.
This has been a production of Southern Pigskin Tonight in association with Buddy Martin Media, produced from the studios of WOCA Ocala.
This has been Southern Pigskin Tonight with your host, Buddy Martin, on the Southern Pigskin Radio Network.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Let's give it up for old asphalt and a new pair of shoes. Let's give it up for a good rhythm meeting a sweet melody. for a church cookout under clear skies. Let's give it up for good things coming together, like bundling your auto and other policies together with an Allstate agent, which can save you time and keep you better protected. Let's give it up for good.
To receive your comparative insurance quote, contact the McDonald Agency at 622-2333.
Whenever you're searching for an attorney, you want somebody with knowledge who has a commitment to our community and our state. Such is the case with Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer. In everything from car and other motor vehicle accidents, work accidents, personal injury, and wrongful death cases. Daniel L. Hightower also handles Social Security disability and bankruptcy. Call him today at 352-629-7777 or check out danhightower.com. Daniel L. Hightower, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. Need a car? Need financing? Need somebody to cut through the red tape and send you rolling down the highway? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Got great credit and just prefer a quality pre-owned car at a fair price from somebody you can trust? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Want to avoid high pressure to feel appreciated and be able to choose from a wide selection of AutoCheck and Carfax certified vehicles? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala and Bellevue. Prestige, it's all there in our name. Right on the southwestern corner of the square sits one of the finest dining establishments in Florida, Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Restaurant. Mark's offers big city dining amenities in a charming and small town setting. It's a rare treat to experience both the ambiance and the exquisite cuisine in a friendly atmosphere. Ocala's finest restaurant serves the finest beef, the freshest seafood, premium wines, and naturally fresh vegetables. From valet parking to splendid service, Mark's offers the complete package. Check it out today. Mark's Prime Seafood and Steakhouse Restaurant. Does osteoarthritis bring frustration with every step? Do pain and stiffness affect your everyday activities? If so, you may be interested in a research study for the treatment of pain associated with osteoarthritis. Rinstar Medical Research is conducting a research study of an investigational medication for individuals between the ages of 40 and 75 and who have been treated for the pain associated with osteoarthritis for at least 3 months. Qualified participants will receive study-related medical care and investigational medication. Compensation for time and travel will be provided. To learn more about this osteoarthritis study, please call Rinstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. Again, that's 352-629-5800.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Paul Stevens. The White House reacting to comments from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, raising doubts about an eventual Palestinian state.
Now, the Prime Minister of Israel says earlier this week, days before an election, that this is a principle that he no longer subscribes to and that his nation no longer subscribes to. That means the United States needs to rethink our approach.
White House spokesman Josh Earnest, President Obama speaking by telephone today with Netanyahu. The Pentagon upping its involvement in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine.
A Pentagon spokeswoman tells Fox News that 290 U.S. paratroopers from the 173rd Airborne Brigade, based in Italy, will begin training 750 Ukrainian soldiers in late April.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon. Up to 5 inches of snow expected tomorrow in parts of the Northeast. Fox News, we report. You decide.
That's not a lawnmower. That's a zero-turning, fescue-slaughtering chariot of lawn domination, cup holder included. And like all respected machines, it requires a battery, which are now as low as $21.99 with exchange at Napa. That's $21.99 for a lawn and garden battery, and the satisfaction of knowing the weekend warrior rides again. Conquer the job with Napa Know-How. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 3/31/15.
The smarter way to manage business expenses. Presented by Concur.
After my conference, I checked out of the hotel and the bill was automatically added to my expense report. Then I hopped into a taxi. I snapped a photo of the receipt using Concur, and bam, there it was on my expense report. Then I used my corporate card to buy the client's lunch. Another charge added to my expense report.
Expense reports that write themselves. Just one of the many ways Concur helps manage your company's spend so you can focus on the big picture. Take a free test drive today at Try Concur.
And get 2 free gifts and also receive free shipping.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 a.m. and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Hi, Danny Warfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more waiting, hassles, or stop signs. You can even apply online. With a strong financial team behind you, you can enjoy great rates and fast approvals.
It's all about personalized service and a streamlined process.
Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life.
Real estate is the largest and most personal investment that any of us will ever make. Be sure to tune in Tuesdays at 10 a.m. when Bob Kennedy, owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty, will be answering your questions and discussing real estate. So remember, that's Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Call 622-9622 with your questions. It pays to be an informed buyer or seller. This is news you can use from Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty and your friends here at WOCA.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Let's give it up for old asphalt and a new pair of shoes. Let's give it up for a good rhythm meeting a sweet melody. For a church cookout under clear skies. Let's give it up for good things coming together, like bundling your auto and other policies together with an Allstate agent, which can save you time and keep you better protected. Let's give it up for good.
To receive your comparative insurance quote, contact the McDonald Agency at 622-2333.
Located next door to Silver Spring State Park and a few minutes from historic downtown Ocala, our award-winning Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites of Silver Springs is the place to stay for a friendly, memorable, and fun experience. Enjoy our fast and free Wi-Fi, complimentary hot breakfast, and free parking. Whether you're in town for work or play, our friendly staff will make you feel right at home. That's the Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Silver Springs.
Proud sponsor of College of Central Florida basketball on WOCA The Source.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
Saving America big money, one listener at a time. Get ready to save more, spend less, and avoid getting ripped off. This is Clark Howard.
I'm so glad to have you here on the Clark Howard Show, where it's all about you being empowered with knowledge so you can keep more of what you make. Our number, 877-87-CLARK, our web address, clarkhoward.com. And on Facebook, you can follow me at facebook.com/Clark Howard. So coming up in just 20 minutes, in today's Clark Rageous Moment, could have knocked me over with a feather when I read a story about a new hot luxury item is luxury toilet paper. You can't make this stuff up. Wait till you hear what people are spending on fancy toilet paper. And later, there's a new way you can shop for insurance that'll make it easier for you potentially to find lower cost insurance. I'm going to tell you how it works with an experiment that is going to become mainstream in just 30 minutes. We'll talk right now about something that was a constant call to our show back as recently as 2 years ago. And it was about taking all of your savings, and piling it into gold or silver or both. It was like all the rage with people calling in here the show. Well, gold has fallen by 42% from its peak. Silver has fallen by 60 some odd percent from its peak. And I want to use this as a clear example of why you hear me say never try to bet on the fifth horse in the fourth race. In other words, don't gamble with your future. Don't speculate with your future. A lot of people bought into the gold thing and sold everything and took all the money and bought gold because there were fears that we were going to have a worldwide depression, a worldwide economic collapse. And through this process that we called the Great Recession, it may well ultimately qualify as having been a depression. You know, what is a depression? It's a major recession. And this one that started back in 2007 and in many places in the world continues, may in fact have been a depression. But it was not in the cards, and looking forward, still is not in the cards, that we are going to have total chaos, economic collapse, that we are going to have anarchy. But there were people very afraid of that, and the value of gold flew upwards in a speculative frenzy. Remember, there was the artificial currency called Bitcoin that took off as well and then crashed back to earth and has suffered from a lot of fraud. Think about this, okay? Money is made over time investing. I don't mean investing like we're talking about. Investing in ideas. You have an idea, you start a business. You have an idea, maybe you invent something. Maybe you see a missing link in the marketplace. I read a story, I forget which, I read so many newspapers every day, I don't remember where I read it. But it was an amazing story about how these four brothers got together and started a rural pizza chain. That when you get to extremely rural areas of the country, that there's no fast food type choice. And the only places there really are in extreme rural America are little convenience store kind of places, country store things, usually the gas pumps. And so these brothers came up with this invention for a miniaturized pizza making system. And now it's booming all over rural America and has more locations now than any of the big pizza chains. And it's a fully turnkey thing that you can take the cashier in a convenience store and he or she can pop these frozen pizzas in this miniature oven and give people a pizza in 4 minutes that people apparently really like. And so these are 4 guys who saw an opportunity in the marketplace that nobody else saw and are getting rich from doing it, serving a need in the marketplace. That's how money's made. And so if you're not the entrepreneur yourself, your equivalent is when you own little pieces of companies as an investor through a 401k or a Roth IRA or a regular IRA, or simply investing in index funds or something like that. Money long term is not made on spec. When you buy gold, and by the way, there's nothing wrong with owning some gold or silver or precious metals or commodities, but particularly with silver, gold, and precious metals, it should never be a big chunk of what you do. It's a hedge. So you buy a little bit of it. That's all. Gold, you have to, if you have physical gold, you have to store it. You don't earn anything on it. And the only way you make money is if the economy or the world goes in the toilet. It's a negative kind of thing. The positive thing is the creativity and spirit and guts of the human mind, the individual or couple or family or friends that get together and risk it all because they believe there's a need in the marketplace they can serve. And that's why hedging with something like gold should never be a major part of what you have. Because, yeah, the ride up can be really great, but the ride back down is when you crash and burn. Our number, 877-87-CLARK. Robert is with us on the Clark Howard Show. Hi, Robert.
Hi, Clark. How are you today?
Great, thank you. Hope everything's wonderful in your world.
It's just doing dandy.
So you want to share an alert for your fellow listener about scamster out there. What are they doing?
Well, it's since it's been around ever since they started email, I guess. But I received an email in my inbox the other day and telling me, oh, there's been a security breach, and you better go click this link and go and check, otherwise your account will be disabled. And the funny thing of it is, I looked at it and I go, I don't have an account with USAA. That was my first thought.
Well, that's funny because, the criminals, when they send out these spoof emails, they'll send them out to any email address and every email address, knowing that a lot of people aren't going to have an account there, but that they know they'll just delete them, but that they may get hot prospects, just a numbers game from people who really do have accounts, as in this case with USAA. And USAA is unusual because people who do business with USAA Federal Savings Bank almost exclusively only do business with USAA Bank online.
Yes.
So you know what happens if you click on the link in there?
There goes your information.
Right, because it'll take you to a supposed USAA site, to a security center, to restore your account, verifying all kinds of information from you, which is really just a ruse to steal your information from you.
Yes, and the aggravating thing, USAA has so many members are veterans or veterans' families. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't. I just want to urge people when they see these things, look at it closely, because even I looked at the email address, didn't have anything to do with USAA. It was some off-the-wall email address. But a lot of people don't bother to check those things, and then next thing you know, they find themselves in trouble.
And the reality is every major bank has warnings on their website about these phishing scams, but we deal with these notices all the time, and they just kind of glaze past our eyes. So I appreciate you protecting our brave men and women.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a great day.
You too, Clark.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye. Key rule on Robert's point is never, ever, if you receive an email supposedly from your bank, your credit card company, your insurance company, whoever it is, never click on a hyperlink in an email sent to you saying you need to update information. Instead, if there's any possibility that's true, you go in a separate window to your bank's website, sign into your bank's website, and then if there is any issue that was legit, you'll know then and there. But never, ever, ever click on a link in an email that you receive. Morgan's with us on the Clark Howard Show. Hi, Morgan.
Yes, hello.
Morgan, your wife has to deal with criminals. What happened to her?
Yeah, we actually had been on a mission trip in Mexico. We came back through California, stopped at the Los Angeles Zoo, and when we got back to our vehicle, the doors were open, and I thought for sure we had locked it, and then we realized that we'd been broken into. Her purse was gone, and another bag was missing, and so everything.
I'm really, really doubly sorry, because here you are doing mission work, doing what you can with your heart and your time for other people, and bad people come and bring mischief into your life.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, the funny thing was when the doors were unlocked, I thought, oh man, we must have forgot to lock the doors. And my initial thought was, you know what? This will just go to show that most people, and I do believe most people are good people anyways, but this will just go to show that even in L.A. you can probably leave your car unlocked and you'll be okay.
But turned out not to be.
Turned out not to be. So anyway, every important document pretty much that she could have had, we had because we were traveling. And so she's from Canada, and we live in the States, and so she had her permanent resident card. She actually had her Social Security card in there, driver's license, of course, Visa, and plus we had our checkbook and some bank account numbers in there. So everything was taken, and we just need to know. Now, my insurance company has it's called a Grand Protect, and it's kind of a new one for just your everyday American.
Okay.
And they do have a identity theft division, which is on it as well. But I know you've often said to freeze one's credit.
Which works for you, but not for her as a Canadian citizen.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, Canada has, since she has a Social Security number, she would be able to do a credit freeze here. Canada has a different process that no one's ever asked me about. But Canada has a thing where if she goes to any of the credit bureau sites in Canada, where you set up something where it's the equivalent of alerting that you are a victim of fraud, and it puts in place kind of credit freeze light.
Okay.
And so it's actually the best that Canada has so far.
Now, with her Social Security number, the U.S. Social Security number, they could still get, I guess, use her credit down here, couldn't they?
Yes. So if she were to freeze, the credit cards that were stolen, those are just reissued. What I'm concerned about is somebody using her identity to create new credit as if they're her. That's the thing that really makes me nervous. And that's why I would like her to do the same thing I'd like you to do, which is to freeze your credit here. And then because of the wrinkle of her being a Canadian, double work for her, that she does the Canadian equivalent of putting the file, they call it a file alert in Canada, put that in place. And before any credit is ever extended, they call her cell phone to see if she really is attempting to apply for credit. So not anywhere near as effective as credit freeze, but a worthwhile step for her to take. And I'm really sorry this was your welcome back from your missionary work. You're listening to The Clark Howard Show.
Most cell phone companies have one big plan they think fits everyone, but Consumer Cellular thinks your plan should fit you. How much talk, text, and web use is just right? You name it. You'll never pay for more than you need, and we'll never ask you to sign a contract. Plans start at just $10 a month. Get free activation, a $35 value. Take 30 days to try Consumer Cellular risk-free. If you don't love it, cancel and pay nothing. And Consumer Cellular is the only wireless service endorsed by AARP, so you know the service is great, and members can save even more with special discounts. Why spend another day paying for more than you need? Consumer Cellular has a plan with your name on it and the savings to match. Start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Stop by a Target or Sears store to pick out your new phone in person, or go to consumercellular.com and we'll ship your phone for free.
AARP receives royalty fees for the use of its intellectual property. These fees are used for the general purposes of AARP.
Vision Computers is different. Great prices and great service after the sale. $449 buys a 3.5 gigahertz quad-core processor, 4 gigs of RAM, and a 500 gig hard drive. Vision will build your system for one user or a network of 100 users, including a 3-year warranty on parts and labor and free antivirus software. And 15 seconds is the longest you'll wait to get tech support on the phone. Check out visioncomputers.com, 877-9VISION. That's 877-9VISION. Great prices and support after the sale guaranteed.
The smarter way to manage business expenses, presented by Concur.
After my conference, I checked out of the hotel and the bill was automatically added to my expense report. Then I hopped into a taxi. I snapped a photo of the receipt using Concur, and bam, there it was on my expense report. Then I used my corporate card to buy the client's lunch. Another charge added to my expense report.
Expense reports that write themselves, just one of the many ways Concur helps manage your company's spend so you can focus on the big picture. Take a free test drive today at tryconcur.com.
Pay your taxes, eat your vegetables, watch your weight, mow the lawn, clean the house. We all have stuff we don't want to do. Isn't it about time you did something you wanted to do? Like getting your pilot's license? At Ocala Aviation, they make it fun and easy, and you can start by taking one of their discovery flights. For only $99, you get to go up in the airplane with an FAA-certified flight instructor and actually fly the plane yourself. It's a perfect way to see if flying is for you. And once you get that ultimate feeling of freedom, Ocala Aviation can train you to get your pilot's license. Ocala Aviation also offers commercial flight training for those looking to make a career change and enter the world of commercial aviation. Ocala Aviation is conveniently located at the Ocala International Airport. So if you're ready to start your adventure, stop by or give them a call today. 861-7484. That's 861-7484. You'll be glad you did. I know I am. Ocala Aviation. Call today. 861-7484.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Professor Gadget. Jim George from American Cable Services will be talking to us about technology.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events are bite-sized.
And then we'll be speaking to Philip Donley. He earned his pilot's license at the age of 18 and began flying jets at the age of 20, and he's logged more than 6 million miles while traveling to more than 40 countries on 5 continents. And he's talking about when pilots lose control, too much dependence placed on the plane's automation and not on the skills of the pilot.
Join Kelly Fuquay-Hart and her guests on Ocala Magazine Radio.
And then let's talk golf with Jim Beckett. Jim is a PGA professional and the founder of the Golf College.
Dr. Childs Rigoles is a researcher known for his work on instructional methods and theories. He'll be speaking about his new book, Reinventing Schools. It's time to break the mold.
All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
In a study involving more than 2,000 people, those with slimmer waistlines showed higher cognitive ability than those who were overweight or obese. Our pets improve our character and make us much better people. If your partner's the one who's stressed out, we know that you will be 25% more likely to be affected than a stranger would be. Yeah, be careful because stress is contagious.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Our number on the Clark Howard Show, 877-87-CLARK. So it's funny, I talked last month about how toilet paper manufacturers are magically shrinking the rolls and that you get so much less toilet paper in a roll now and you got a jumbo pack. It's kind of like the oxymoron of jumbo shrimp. You get jumbo roll of toilet paper is much smaller than it used to be. Well, this is truly Clark-rageous what I'm about to share with you.
Scams, ripoffs, outrages. It's a Clark-rageous moment.
Kind of like the airlines shrinking their seats and then saying if you want a good one, you got to pay a big surcharge for a premium economy seat that's like what economy was 2 minutes ago. So now the toilet paper manufacturers are pushing hard on luxury toilet paper rolls, sales of which are up 70% in the last few years, according to the Washington Post. So our rolls have shrunk. They're not as good as they were. So now pay a premium for it. That's Clark-rageous.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Today, Geico's stuff found in your car takes us under your passenger seat.
Hello, darling. Remember me? That earring you lost? I thought we were close, but then it took 15 minutes to notice I was missing in this ghastly carpeting. That's 15 minutes you could have used to switch your car insurance to Geico and saved hundreds of dollars. Money you could use for new earrings. And wouldn't that be nice? For you.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
WOCA 1370 WOCA.
Fox News Radio, I'm Paul Stevens. The White House reacting to comments from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, raising doubts about an eventual Palestinian state.
Now, the Prime Minister of Israel says earlier this week, days before an election, that this is a principle that he no longer subscribes to and that his nation no longer subscribes to. That means the United States needs to rethink our approach.
White House spokesman Josh Earnest, President Obama speaking by telephone today with Netanyahu. The Pentagon upping its involvement in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine.
A Pentagon spokeswoman tells Fox News that 290 U.S. paratroopers from the 173rd Airborne Brigade, based in Italy, will begin training 750 Ukrainian soldiers in late April.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon. Up to 5 inches of snow expected tomorrow in parts of the Northeast. Fox News. We report. You decide.
That's not a lawnmower. That's a zero-turning, fescue-slaughtering chariot of lawn domination. Cup holder included. And like all respected machines, it requires a battery, which are now as low as $21.99 with exchange at Napa. That's $21.99 for a lawn and garden battery. And the satisfaction of knowing the weekend warrior rides again. Conquer the job with Napa Know-How. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 3/31/15.
The smarter way to manage business expenses, presented by Concur.
After my conference, I checked out of the hotel and the bill was automatically added to my expense report. Then I hopped into a taxi. I snapped a photo of the receipt using Concur, and bam, there it was on my expense report. Then I used my corporate card to buy the client's lunch. Another charge added to my expense report.
Expense reports that write themselves. Just one of the many ways Concur helps manage your company's spend so you can focus on the big picture. Take a free test drive today at Try Concur.
Well, what do you know? The Breathe Easies with another hit song.
Can anybody derail the Harvick Express this weekend? I'm Woody Kane. The story next on NASCAR Today.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Hey, baby. Let's ride.
Oh, yeah.
Don't let noisy brakes kill your mojo. Stop by AutoZone and get a new set of brake pads and brake rotors. When it's time for new brakes, get Duralast Gold pads and rotors. Together, they provide the ultimate quiet brake job. Use your tax refund and do it today.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
MRN.com is your home for online streaming of NASCAR races and original MRN Motorsports program. Listen at home or on the road to NASCAR Sprint Cup Series practices and qualifying, Sprint Cup, Xfinity, and Camping World Truck Series races, plus exclusive original online-only programs such as MRN Motorsports Monday, Winged Nation, Straight Line, NASCAR Coast to Coast, Fast Food, and Throwback Tuesday, streaming across the country and around the world on MRN.com.
Defending Sprint Cup champ Kevin Harvick is on a roll, winning the last 2 races and finishing no lower than second over the last 7. But last year at Auto Club Speedway, he wound up 36th. Meanwhile, as we head there this weekend, his teammate Kurt Busch is coming off a top 5 at Phoenix after returning to Stewart-Haas Racing and was 3rd at Auto Club a year ago. He knows points likely won't get him in the chase.
It's a long season. The way that you can look at it is we've already used our DNFs. Whether we take a risk or not, it's my job to go for those wins. Gene Haas would rather have the car loaded up on the flatbed going for a win instead of just cruising around there to try to finish 12th.
Read more about Busch's chase chances now at MRN.com. Practice starts tomorrow at Auto Club Speedway, and we'll stream it live at 3 Eastern Time. I'm Woody Kane. This is NASCAR Today on the Motor Racing Network.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new truck.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
WWWOCA, WWWOCA.
Your source for the #1 sports weekends, Fox Sports, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM.
This is WOCA, News Talk 1370.
We are The Source, WOCA.
Welcome to the Clark Howard Show, where it's about you learning ways to save more and spend less. And don't let anybody ever rip you off. Our number 877-87-CLARK on the web, clarkhoward.com. So robots of various types are going to be more and more of our lives. Virtual robotics are already becoming prominent. Charles Schwab, the huge discount broker, has upset the apple cart in the investment community by launching advice, what's called robo-advising, where at no fee, you can go to Schwab and use a product called Intelligent Portfolios. And so you don't need to know anything about investing at all. And they're offering Intelligent Portfolios for free. You go through a lengthy questionnaire about your life, your situation, everything about you, and then Schwab will do electronic hand-holding for you. They will actually manage your money for you for free. Schwab's new offering has caused great upset in the traditional investment industry, where people live on providing advice. But the truth is that most people don't have enough money to be of interest to people who provide professional advice. Generally, anybody with less than $250,000 of cash available to invest is of no interest to anybody in the financial services industry. And by the way, under $250,000 includes almost everybody. Just a tiny percent of Americans are in a position where they have more money than that. So you're left with high commission salespeople, insurance salespeople, and generally products that aren't very good for you. So the beauty of the Schwab thing, again called Intelligent Portfolios, is you can say, I'm clueless, I know nothing, and still get free advice and guidance that continues with you, and they build the portfolio for you. It's all automated for you. And that is a phenomenal thing that is available to you. The cost of using the service is almost nothing for the actual investments you're put in. The most expensive of all of them costs less than 0.5% per year, which is fantastic. Great offering. And I'm so happy that someone is out there helping the newbie without much money get started with investing and don't end up in the clutches of some high commission salesperson. On those same lines, Google is now causing tremors to the extreme in the insurance industry. There's a product I told you about, which was unusual. I brought it to your attention a year ago, that Google had become a big seller of insurance in parts of Europe. And they're doing it all with robotics, all automated, shopping for your individual situation, finding you the best plan out there for you. And now Google has launched in our nation's most populous state, the state of California, has obtained licenses to sell insurance across almost every state in the country. I think there's a couple that have not approved Google yet. And within months, Google will be offering instant insurance quotation around the country. Google says on their blog about their, it's only new in the United States, that they are quoting from 14 different insurance companies. And so instead of you having to look around for the best deal, make multiple phone calls, remember the Geico thing, 15 minutes, save you 15% or more, whatever. This is virtually instant, that once you provide your basic information to the Google Insurance Service, you then are able to get the quotes from Google Compare instantly, and the quotes are actual real firm quotes. It is clearly part of the future. Just as travel agents face such a threat and nearly went extinct because of the ability for people to compare and shop and buy travel on the internet, other industries are facing that same kind of issue, that same kind of threat. But it gives you as a consumer more power to choose. Seamus joins us on the Clark Howard Show. How are you today?
Good, Clark. How are you doing?
Great, thanks. You have a question that, talk about questions I used to get constantly. I almost never get a question like yours. What's going on?
Well, my girlfriend has a 2014 car, and it stalled out on her twice while she was driving it.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah. Was she on a freeway or anything at a time that the car stalled out?
She was on not an interstate, but a major highway.
She could have been killed.
Yes.
Wow. That's a very, very dangerous safety issue.
I agree. So we took it to the dealership, and they couldn't replicate or locate or find the problem the first time. Then it happened again, took it back, still couldn't find it. And after that second time, she got in touch with the actual car manufacturer, and they recommended that she go to another dealership and have them look at it. And they also could not replicate or find the problem. So I've been reading up online, and it says that 3 times is the reasonable number of repair attempts.
We're talking lemon law here.
Yes. Well, that's what she's been back in contact with the car manufacturer, who told her that she has basically 2 options. She can either initiate lemon law and go to arbitration, or she can go back to the dealership and negotiate with them. And we just don't know what to do.
So most state statutes for lemon law state specifically when the manufacturer buys back the vehicle, what the formula is for calculating the buyback. And normally it will be a cents per mile calculation from the original purchase. How many miles does she have on the car?
Right around 20,000.
Okay, so there'll be some amount per mile for that 20,000, maybe 20 cents a mile, maybe 30, whatever it is under your state statute. And it will let you know what, if you go through lemon law and with a problem of that nature, the manufacturer in most states will be given 1 attempt to repair the car, and they'll usually be given only 7 days to exercise that attempt. And then you proceed with the process for lemon law.
So is that do we have to send them a fine like that?
Yeah, you send them a final final attempt to repair letter is usually what's required. And the language in each state will vary just a touch, but that's generally how it works.
And to whom do we send that letter? To the dealership?
There will be in your owner's manual, there should be an address that you send a lemon law demand. But we'll do better for you than that. We'll find the lemon law requirement in your state for you, because I want you to know exactly what the requirements will be. So what I'm trying to tell you is what you do first is you figure out by the state statute what they're going to have to pay her back. And then before you exercise that law, you go to the dealer and give them a chance for an accommodation. If the accommodation they offer is equivalent to what you would have to go through all the hoops for the state lemon law, then do the deal with the dealer. On the other hand, the dealer may not offer you any meaningful, reasonable alternative, in which case you know to proceed directly through the arbitration called for under the lemon law. Does that make sense? You first calculate what the settlement would be under the lemon law, and then that's your marker to know whether an offer from the dealer is worth taking or you go forward with lemon law.
Can I ask one final question?
Yeah.
If we decide to go with trying to get them to repair at a final time, is that something we should ask the dealership to cover in terms of a rental car again?
Well, once you do that, you're under the state lemon law procedure.
Okay.
And the manufacturers normally waive their final attempt to repair. That probably won't even happen. But if it does, what will happen is they will send usually a master mechanic of their choosing, either from their company or from an outside service, to try to evaluate what the problem is. And they will not fight you if you go past that and you do the lemon law, because the automakers are so hypersensitive now to any major safety-related issue that could blow up on them on 60 Minutes or in the national media. So it's just a matter of jumping through the hoops right. And hang on just a second. We're going to get you the information how to proceed in your state specifically for that demand for final attempt to repair. And the reason I don't get this call anymore, the reason it's so rare, is that the change has been that cars are so much more reliable than they used to be that the lemon law is rarely revoked. The automakers have done a great job making cars much, much more reliable. And you can just see that if you look at Consumer Reports' annual auto issue. But there are still bugs out there. There are still lemons, and that's why the law is there. Kartik is with us on the Clark Howard Show. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Clark.
So you're interested in buying something I can never get people interested in. What's that?
Here is the thing. My company has an open period for enrollment for short-term and long-term insurance, and they also have the term life. But the thing is, I've taken term life somewhere else. Now, the thing is, I'm thinking, should I go for it or not? But the point is, I don't want to stick to the company for a long time because, situations might change for me.
Sure.
So when I leave I had a bad experience earlier. When you leave the company, you lose all the benefits and you're back to square one to search for an insurance.
Right. So I'm glad you're asking me this question, because if you're someone who's not intending to spend your entire working lifetime at one company, you did the right thing buying your own term life insurance policy on your own. And if your health is good, it's better for you to buy your own disability insurance policy on your own. Mm-hmm. And the reason is especially true if you have good health. Because when you have good health, you may qualify for a more favorable rate for disability insurance on your own than you would through an employer where the insurer has to take everybody, even people who have lousy health.
Right.
So short-term disability insurance, I'm not as big on as long-term disability insurance, because what I really worry about is what happens to you if you have years or the remainder of your working lifetime that you're disabled and you can't work. And the stats show that in your key working years, you're 3 times more likely to become disabled than to die. But most people are more likely to buy the life insurance, but not buy the disability insurance. So I'm really glad that you're considering buying disability insurance.
But how do we shop around for the long term? Is there any website where I can look around, and how does it work?
Well, historically, you would go to whoever writes your auto and homeowners insurance, and you'd ask him or her for referral to a disability insurance broker. But now, one thing you should look at is a website called Policy Genius.
Okay.
Policy Genius is selling a variety of insurance products where you can quote them right online. And
this is for the long-term disability as well?
They offer long-term disability insurance. Don't know if they offer short-term. Short-term is not a big part of the marketplace.
Okay.
But with Policy Genius, you can go there and right online, they'll do a basic health history and questionnaire with you, and then they'll give you quotes right then and there for disability insurance. It's a great way, beyond the answer I always gave, for you to look for disability insurance coverage. You're listening to The Clark Howard Show.
Racing legend Richard Petty for Blue Emu.
Maintenance is important. To help me keep feeling my best, I use odor-free Blue Emu made with real emu oil. Blue Emu Continuous Pain Relief Spray has an active ingredient to relieve the aches and pains of my muscles and joints, and it's perfect for hard-to-reach places. Hey, even us precision machines need a little help sometimes. Use what I use, Blue Emu. It works fast, and you won't stink.
Blue Emu, available at Walmart, Walgreens, Rite Aid, and other fine stores.
That's not a lawnmower. That's a zero-turning, fescue-slaughtering chariot of lawn domination, cup holder included. And like all respected machines, it requires a battery, which are now as low as $21.99 with exchange at Napa. That's $21.99 for a lawn and garden battery, and the satisfaction of knowing the weekend warrior rides again. Conquer the job with Napa Know-How. Participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 3/31/15.
John, a small business owner, was forced to compromise.
I am so ashamed.
Don't be, John. You were pushed into buying PDF software that didn't meet your business needs. But now, with new Nuance Power PDF, you can accurately convert, combine, and edit all your documents with ease. And you pay a price that is uninflated. How do you feel now, John?
I am John. Uncompromised.
Try it free now at nuance.com/powerpdf. PDF uncompromised.
On Monday, Josh Leibarger made his status
Case of the Mondays,
followed by a frowny face. It got 1 like and 5 comments, including dislike. Well, Josh, Geico also wants to make a comment to turn that emoji's frown upside down. In just 15 minutes, you could save hundreds of dollars on your car insurance by switching to Geico. With all that extra dough, why not give Monday a makeover? We see an office party in your future. Hosted by you. Hashtag happy face. Hashtag savings.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Your weekends are getting a little retool.
Swear to God, not making a joke.
Check this out. New shows? Check. Some new talent. Check. Let's welcome the guys.
Let's get it going.
Arnie Spanier.
Unbelievable.
TJ Reeves.
This is what you get.
Your weekends are on fire.
Because that's how exotic it is.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Cozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Clark Howard Show, 877-87-CLARK. You know, you can also post a question for me at clarkhoward.com. We call them Ask Clark. Joel, you have one you want to ask me right now.
Yeah, Clark. First one's from Willie. Says we were making extra payments on our 3.875% mortgage, but we stopped when we heard you on the show. We're still paying an extra 2% on our 2% student loan. Should we stop paying extra towards them too?
Well, it depends on what your uses of money would be. You know, if you have idle cash and it's earning basically 0% in savings, you don't need it for rainy day, I guess this would be an exception to the normal thing. But my preference would be if you're not putting money in retirement accounts like Roth IRAs, with such low interest rates on the student loans and your mortgage, I would much rather see you pile money into Roth IRAs, tax-free retirement accounts you can put $5,500 each into.
Clark Michael says, why is so much of your page on your website covered with ads? It's really annoying. Sometimes I click the ads and I don't know if what the info I'm getting is from Clark or not.
Well, I'm really sorry about that. It's one of the reasons we're going through the major redo we're doing right now with clarkhoward.com. The new website launches in just a few weeks and after some testing. And the ads will be less intrusive on the new website because we've heard you. We've heard the complaints. And the other thing is the website will present much better on mobile devices and tablets. So I'm sorry that the ads have been intrusive to you. We hope that that's not your future experience on the new clarkhoward.com.
Hi, Danny Warfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more waiting, hassles, or stop signs. You can even apply online. With a strong financial team behind you, you can enjoy great rates and fast approvals.
It's all about personalized service and a streamlined process.
Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
This is James Snyder inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy, right here on WOCA 1370.
You're listening to WOCA, Ocala.
33491. Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Paul Stevens. The State Department denying rumors that a nuclear deal with Iran has been put to paper.
The reports are inaccurate. There's no draft document being circulated. The fundamental framework issues are still under comprehensive discussion, and obviously that's what the Secretary is focused on now during his meetings.
State Department spokesperson Jen Psaki referring to Secretary of State John Kerry. No verification yet of a claim by ISIS militants taking responsibility for this week's museum attack in Tunisia. This woman telling Fox News about surviving that attack.
I surprised myself in that I was not panicking. My friend and I kept looking at each other and recounting, now this is what we saw, this is what we did. We have to make a decision now.
21 people killed in that attack. 13-year-old Little League pitching sensation Monet Davis set to be the subject of a biographical Disney Channel movie coming up titled Throw Like Mo. Fox News. We report, you decide.
That's not a lawnmower. That's a zero-turning, fescue-slaughtering chariot of lawn domination. Cup holder included. And like all respected machines, it requires a battery, which are now as low as $21.99 with exchange at Napa. That's $21.99 for a lawn and garden battery. And the satisfaction of knowing the weekend warrior rides again. Conquer the job with Napa Know-How. Participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 3/31/15.
The smarter way to manage business expenses. Presented by Concur.
After my conference, I checked out of the hotel and the bill was automatically added to my expense report. Then I hopped into a taxi. I snapped a photo of the receipt using Concur, and bam, there it was on my expense report. Then I used my corporate card to buy the client's lunch. Another charge added to my expense report.
Expense reports that write themselves. Just one of the many ways Concur helps manage your company's spend so you can focus on the big picture. Take a free test drive today at Try Concur.
And the Ad Council.
Real estate is the largest and most personal investment that any of us will ever make. Be sure to tune in Tuesdays at 10 a.m. when Bob Kennedy, owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty, will be answering your questions and discussing real estate. So remember, that's Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Call 622-9622 with your questions. It pays to be an informed buyer or seller. This is news you can use from Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty and your friends here at WOCA.
Career Source Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source Citrus Levy Marion and learn how they can help you.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Let's give it up for old asphalt.